thought we'd do it on the avenue.
Waas, Sappening.
All right, we are back for another episode of SeunevA Lifestyles Podcast presents What's Happening. I'm one of your co-hosts. I'm Tim. Got my cousin Mike.
What's up? What's up?
Cousin Jeff.
What's crapping in?
Big George.
Órale.
And we got the paid intern, Chico, there. Hey, but before we get started, Chico's got a prom tomorrow. Got a new haircut.
Dang.
Looking good. Look
Man,
at
got cleaned up and everything.
Got clean, oh, man. She ain't got a chance.
This prom puts out.
Hey, we're in the right place. He got white walled.
Yeah, looking good. Good luck and be a gentleman. Good luck and be a gentleman. Mike, any advice for your boy there?
Nah, man, just have fun and be careful and be smart.
Keep your hands to yourself.
Do like your Nino, man. Just go off for it. Just go for it.
Be safe.
Be safe.
Just be safe.
Be a gentleman.
Protection, eh?
And be a gentleman.
Be a gentleman. Head first, though. Go head first.
Don't go like Willie Lumlow.
Yeah.
Open the door for, once in a while.
Yeah, let her order first.
If she don't open the door, she's not the one.
There you go. Hey, well, we are here to
Timmy,
sell.
wait a minute.
Go for it.
Did you go to the prom?
4 times, baby.
Now it's 4. Now it's 4. Gee.
What was my answer last time?
It was 1, then 2, and then you found out you went on with Ivan, too.
Yeah.
And he's 0 for 4.
No, Ivan for sure.
And there's
did.
no photos to back it up.
Yeah, there's no photos.
And all
No
4 times
receipts.
you the senior.
No receipts.
First senior.
Pre-cell phone. Pre-cell phone. We chipped it in a rock.
The first wheel.
Who drove?
The first wheel.
Huh?
Who drove, though?
I drove him crazy.
There you go. There you go.
Well, hey, before we are here to celebrate a 50th year anniversary, right? A Sophisticated Few Car Club, and we got 3 generations of members, and we have a founding member, I guess. We got Big T here, we have Carlitos, and we have Carlos, right? So this is a true definition of a family affair. I mean, it honestly is. And I've seen your guys' rides. I mean, they are tight. They are awesome. But I guess my first question goes to Big T.
Yes, sir.
How did it start? I mean, we're talking 50 years, brother.
Ooh, let me tell you. Actually, there was 8 of us. And we were actually together 2 years before we put a name to it.
Really?
A bunch of us came from a little dead-end street in South Phoenix called Raymond Street.
Okay.
And we just hang out all the time. Everybody had lowriders. Lowrider was just coming out. Lowrider car was just coming to the scene. We were some of the first ones to build and cruise lowriders. And then we would go to these little shows that they would have with 4 wheels and all that. And then finally, we were going to go to a show at the Civic Plaza. And they said, you know what? You guys need to have a name for your club.
Okay.
Everywhere we went, they would say, oh, here comes the fuck-ups.
Story of my life.
Because for some reason or other, either a fight would break out or something would happen. And
Not your fault, though.
no, never. and we would always get blamed for it. So they finally said, you guys need to put a name to the club. So we were like, we were at my cousin's house, and we were all sitting there. We're like, we need to come up with a name. And we were trying to think of this. And I don't even remember what name we came. His wife came up. She says, why don't you guys call yourselves the Sophisticated Few?
Ah,
Wow,
okay.
like that.
Yeah, just like that, huh?
His wife, and it just like instantaneously we're like,
It clicked.
wow, that sounds pretty damn good.
It
Yeah.
does. So this is...
From the fuck-ups to the sophisticated.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. That's about a 360, brother.
Exactly. That's...
So,
Yeah, she the class.
Yeah.
we decided, you know what? Let's go with it, man. So,
So,
right then and
So,
there-
T, what year is this?
yeah.
this was back in 74.
Okay.
Okay.
Like I said, we were hanging out since before that, 72, 71. The 8 main guys, we would always hang out together anyway. So, but not till we put the name to it was in 74.
Nice. So
That put the stamp on it.
Yeah, that put the stamp on it, and then we started going to shows, going out of town, getting a little bit more organized to do the show, the car club.
Right.
Correct.
Car clubs
I would say you got organized because it's 50 years later.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You know,
That's
yeah.
tight.
And here it is, 50 years going on. You know, never expected that one.
You know what I'm interested in is I want to know. So prior to '74, you already had a lowrider. How did you? What interested you in getting a car and starting working on a car?
Don't hold me to this, but I'm pretty sure what.
Oh, we're gonna hold you
what
to it.
actually got me interested in it was when I would see Chico and the Man, and I would see Gypsy Rose
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
using that '64, and I would say, now those lowriders are bad.
The
Back in
TV
days-
show.
Back in the day, you did like, oh man, I don't want no fender skirts. That's old man shit. You know?
Yeah.
And you saw that one, and that kind of like
That sparked it.
That sparked.
that sparked the whole thing.
yeah.
You know, that's great you say that about Chico and the Man, because that was Gypsy Rose was part of Chico and the Man in the
Chico
intro.
Rose.
They were from the,
Gypsy
they were
Rose,
right in the
yeah.
intro.
In the intro.
As soon
Yeah.
as the beginning,
In
as
the
the show
beginning.
started,
Intro,
as the
and
show
they
started,
started.
it would show right away a bunch of lowriders cruising down, and
Yep.
Gypsy Rose
And
was
then
one
it
of
just
the ones
kind
up
of
there.
grew from there. I don't know if you guys even remember Thunderbird car stereos down on South Central. Callaway Rando is a black guy that owned it. Well, he had 259 Impalas, both of them, red orange, immaculate, exactly the same, with Kragers, dropped, and you passed by there every day and you saw it and you said, "We're gonna build a ride.
I want one.
I want one."
Yeah, I want
They
one.
look
Yeah.
good.
So what was the first ride you got in
I think my first one was a 60 Impala.
a '60?
How many cars would you say you've owned over the years? Just, I mean, how many cars have you said you owned over the years? I want to hold you to it, just a rough number.
I think, me personally, the amount of cars that I've built and shown that belong to me, I'd have to say it's over 50.
Oh shit.
Oh wow.
That's awesome.
But I
That's
can't
awesome.
give an exact amount because back then I could buy a 54 Chevy today for $50.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
And then I'd sell it next weekend for $75 and then buy another car for $50.
Yeah.
So, you know, you didn't really hold on to cars that long because they were so easy to buy and sell.
Shaking and moving.
Exactly. I remember one time I was figuring up and I went everything from, I had everything from a 1949 Chevy all the way to a 1971 Chevy. And I had a car of every year at one time.
Oh hell. Wow.
Dang.
That's cool, man.
That's
See-
way cool.
Answer me this, if you would. You're an Arizona native?
Arizona native, born and bred, brother.
Where'd you go to high school?
Phoenix Union for a year and a half.
Okay.
Downtown.
And then you grew up in South Phoenix?
South Phoenix.
Okay. All right. And
You know-
how'd you make your way over here to West Phoenix?
My wife,
She was a smart one.
you know, after we got married, we lived in the South Side for a while. And
Sure.
then, her parents lived over here in West Phoenix. And my tío actually used to work at Reynolds Aluminum right here.
Yeah, I think everybody still did.
That's where everybody in this whole area
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think so.
their grandparents or whatever.
Yeah.
worked
Yeah,
at
my grandfather, my
Reynolds
tios worked there too.
So he lived here and he was having problem with Reynolds. So I decided to come over here, move in, take over, and help him out with it. And I just stuck here, man.
Right on.
Been here for, close to 40 years now,
Yeah.
Wow.
Hell yeah.
you know.
Yeah, but that's tight. 'Cause as I look around your garage, I mean, you got pictures of.
And that's where we're at right now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We're in Big T's garage right here. I mean, you look around here and it's a museum in and of itself. I mean,
Oh,
this
believe
is
me,
cool.
There's been a lot of work done on cars in here. Show cars, club cars. We're always constantly working on something, you know. It's my grandson is kind of taking over, and they got to run a little business out here. But we do a lot of paint jobs. We do a lot of body work. Kind of whatever it takes, you know.
You know, and that's the thing about the older cars. You could work on older cars. I mean, new
And
cars these days.
This
you
is
can't.
just only a little bit of the history that
Oh,
we
yeah.
have. He's popped out photos that I've seen from way back in 74, 72 and all that, from all the different cars at my tío's house. I have some of our partners' house right there on Raymond Street in South Phoenix. I've even seen guys on YouTube who've been going through lowrider magazines. It's just happened to be going through, and I see sophisticated few out in California and where they went and won places out there. So it's only just a little bit of history that you see in here.
Oh, you guys are everywhere. I mean, I looked online and we've got different chapters, different states.
Yeah.
And the origin is here though, right? Phoenix.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is the mother chapter
You know,
right here.
With eight
We're
guys.
the first car club to be based out of Phoenix, Arizona, and expand out from here. Other car clubs, California was back in the day where a lot of car clubs would come from back and work its way out towards this way. We are the only one that is still active today that is based out of Phoenix, Arizona, and expanded out from Phoenix,
Wow,
Arizona.
that's impressive.
But
I dig that
one
shit.
thing I wanted to elaborate on.
Yeah.
You know, we were not the very first lowrider car club that was here. There was a couple of other ones. But we are the only car club that I know of to this day that is still active. And we've been around longer than everybody else.
Wow.
You know what? There's car clubs that have been around longer, but they're all based out of California.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, and I give props to the clubs like the Dukes, Lifestyle,
Yeah,
Sure.
yeah.
Clicks, Group. All the main clubs were based out of California. Sophisticated Few was based out of Phoenix, and we're still standing 50 years later. You know, I don't think anybody else can make that claim. There's been clubs that have come out after us that have been around a long time. You know, you got Society, you got Spirit. You know,
Right,
I want to
right.
give props to everybody that deserves it. You know?
Sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
But,
You guys are a community.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I make that claim and I stand by it. You know.
Yeah,
So
'cause-
T, when you came up with the name, when your partner's old lady came up with the name Sophisticated Few, the colors, you guys come up with the colors too? Why
Yeah.
did you come up with the colors? And what are the colors? What are the original colors?
Blue and gold,
Blue and gold.
Hell yeah.
Is there a reason behind blue and gold?
not a single one.
Not because of Carl Hayden, Falcons, blue and gold.
That is definitely not.
Carl Hayden graduates can't spell sophisticated. No, I mean, I remember when I was a kid, you know, I remember hearing about Sophisticated Few. You know, I was a kid, and you know, I never had a lowrider, but I always heard of it. You know what I mean? And even like you said, the Spirit Car Club, I remember kind of hearing stuff about that. But, I mean, it's tight. Like I say, now you got your son Carlos, right?
My son-in-law Carlos,
And then
the president.
you're the president now. So when did you
my
take over?
grandson, Carlitos.
Yeah, Carlitos, yep.
He's the sergeant of arms right now.
Okay. So,
I probably joined the club in 1994,
okay.
and I became president the first time was about 2010.
Okay.
I was president for like about 5 years, and I kind of stepped down for a while, needed a break, and then regrouped and came back. And I was
Nice.
president probably the last. Shit, I took probably a 2-year break, and after that we came back with a vengeance. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Trying to build and build. You know what I mean? My focus was, and always has been, was to it's family. I want to see my son. I want him to be eventually take over, and I can just retire.
Pass
I
the
wanna see
baton.
my-
Pass the
yeah,
baton,
See my
yeah.
grandson, my grandkids, my nieces, my nephews. I have a couple of nephews and nieces that are involved with this. So, you know, it's a family thing. That's the first thing. Is with
I was
this
gonna
our
say
club
that.
is we're family. Our family will come first. We're all in this. You know what I mean? And we focus on camaraderie. You know,
Yeah.
we want to be together. We want to work together, and and we've worked at community is a big thing for us. We want to help the community. We want to just help out whatever we can do to make things a little bit better where we are from. We work with Chicano por la Causa. We work with the Sons. We currently work with the Roman House. It's a foster home. We've been doing the Christmas Angels with them, and we've been fortunate. You know what I mean? Because there's a lot of what I've learned and we've seen is, you don't have to be a drug dealer or do things a bad way to make money
Right.
to build what you want. I work hard. I worked every day, and we've all done the same. We work a 9 to 5, get up every day, go to work, and this is our passion. This is our enjoyment. It's our outlet for our frustrations. You know what I mean?
Right.
We take it out. We work on our cars and drive them.
Hey, Carlos, I'm glad you said that because there's a stereotype about that. You know what I mean? If somebody has a lowrider or they belong to a lowrider club, they automatically assume it's drug money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's not. Or it's gang related. It's
No.
not.
That's the farthest from what people
Correct.
think because
Correct.
our cars, we drop a lot of money.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
And I wouldn't be able to put the kind of money I put into my car without my wife and my family's support.
Correct.
So it's a family thing. That car you build, it's not just I built it. It's my whole family, because if
There's sacrifices.
Sacrifice.
There's
Yep,
sacrifices
exactly.
that you
And
make.
that's where people say, "Oh, you guys are drug dealers or you guys are gang members." Hell, no, we're the farthest from that.
Yeah.
You know, it just they stereotype.
Right. Yeah.
And,
Right.
You know what I mean? But we've been very fortunate enough to we're breaking away from that, and people are starting to see that this lowrider community, it's not what a lot
There's more to it.
More to it now. Every lowrider car club gets along with everybody, and everybody will help each other out.
Nice.
And there is no like, oh, I don't like you, I don't like you. No, we all get along, and we're all focused on the same thing: to build our cars, enjoy them, show them, and help each other out. I guarantee, if you're driving down the road and you're in a lowrider, you break down, another guy will stop and help you. Even it doesn't even have to be from your club. He'll pull over and be like, "Hey, man, you need help." That's because that's how everything works.
Yeah.
We're-
And that's what it's
each other.
about.
What it's about.
That's what it's about.
You know, and a lot of ignorant people judge a book by its cover, right? And you know, you're doing something different, right? And like I say, you're working for the different causes. I mean, that's awesome because you know, when we got in the accident, I was showing some people, you know, at my work, you know, the pictures of the accident, and they even took a step back and looked at me and were like, "I didn't know you were into this kind of stuff."
I didn't know you were a drug dealer.
I know you're a drug dealer. You know,
Break me off.
Hey, you got a 20?
yeah. I only sell 40s. But no, I don't sell anything, people.
He sells his nagas.
Whoa.
No, not even that.
You must be one broke. You must be one broke motherfucker.
Thanks, Big T. Thanks.
Hey, what a friend's for kind of.
Yeah, shot of confidence. No, but you're 100% correct. People do judge. You know, they don't stop long enough to ask questions, right? Because we got more in common than we don't, right? As a whole. But I mean, that's awesome. And Carlitos, where you at with all this?
Me, man, it's a unique story for me, because when people ask me like, how did you get involved, or how I got my car, or I mean, it all starts back to my tata. You know what I mean?
Hell yeah.
I mean, I get to say that, oh, hey, my tata is a founding member of a club that's been around for 50 years. And now I get to say, hey, my dad is a president. And I'm fortunate enough to be able to say now that I'm a sergeant at arms in the Sophisticated Few. And I mean, when I was a kid, I mean, I grew up around lowriders. So I remember when I was a kid playing in my tata's car when he was building them.
Don't touch that.
Yeah. No, he was like, go out there. You guys stay outside all day. And so we're out there pretending we were lowriders.
Get a wrench
driving.
and learn something.
Yeah,
damn
you
it.
know what I mean? Do an oil change or
I'm gonna
something.
pretend in that car right there. After
And
this.
then also, like my dad, I remember when my dad had his 62, and when he first got it, it was primered, and we were playing in the driveway, and we were pretending like we were driving it, you know what I mean? But I remember when my dad had his money or his cutlasses, I would try to be all cool with my feet on the seat, trying to be taller, with my arm out the window, you know what I mean? And so it's just I don't know how to describe the feeling to be able to say that my family is what started it, and I'm still part of it as well. And then
It's like what your dad said, his family.
exactly.
Yeah.
And now I have a son and daughter and all that I get to be able to pass this on to and say, hey, look, this is coming for now 4 generations now.
Damn, that's
That's
cool.
awesome.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And this is all family based, because the original members as well, I consider them as uncles and everything like that. So I've known them since
You were
I was a
born.
baby.
Right, yeah.
Since I was in diapers.
Right.
And now we're expanding more, bringing in more people along, and bringing in more family that are same way, family oriented. And like I said, also too, a big support is my wife. I mean, my wife gives me a lot of support as well. I mean, I go out to do these shows sometimes, or I'll be gone for a whole day. And,
Yeah.
I mean, I have kids.
Right,
and
right.
She holds the household down, and she's like, do what you got to do. You know what I mean? She understands because her father as well is a member of our club as well. He's
Oh,
part of
wow.
Sophisticated
All
Few.
right.
So my father-in-law is also involved in it too. So
You're infused in on both ends.
so many ways. In so many ways. I mean, it's a crazy story. And so, but before her father even joined Sophisticated Few, he was already into lowriders, had bombs, had all these different cars as well. So she already grew up knowing like what it takes to be part of a club and to have that. So she understands when I'm like, hey, there's a show going on this weekend. They want my car, or hey, they're calling saying, can I use my car for this? Yeah, go ahead. You know what I mean? Go for it. Sometimes she'll come out to it if it's something where the kids can enjoy it, or if not, she kicks back at home and is like, hey, I got the kids. You do what you got to do.
That's cool.
You got to give a shout out to the women, man, because they're behind you 100%, right? I mean, they could take a different avenue, right, and make things hard, and then so you got to give a shout out to the ladies. Right? Even like Mike's wife said the same thing. Hey, build the car again, right?
Yeah.
You need that. You need that, right?
I got a question, T. So back then in '74, you probably didn't see what was going to result 50 years later, right?
Right.
But now that you're here and you see that, you see your grandson. How does that make you feel, man?
You know, there's a certain amount of pride, proudness, or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
That goes into it, because, like you said, back in '74 when we were doing this, we'd get together all the time, drink beer all weekend, go to car shows and this and that. Never in my wildest dreams would I think 50 years later we're going to still be doing it. Yeah, you know, I might have expected a son or a nephew. I don't have no sons, but I mean nephews and stuff to be in it, involved in it. But to keep going as strong as it is now, stronger than ever 50 years later, is something I would have never anticipated.
Yeah, so it's got to make you proud, man.
Very.
Yeah.
Very. I'm proud when people in the club now. I don't really know all the members anymore because a bunch of young guys and stuff like that. And when these guys always introduce me, they go, "Hey, these are founding members." These guys are very respectful to us.
As they should. Yeah, as they should.
And that's when I feel.
Yeah.
Okay, they appreciate what we did back in the days.
Yeah.
And you know how we're handling it. Personally, I don't handle anything anymore. It's all on Carlos now. I'm just kind of kick back,
Riding the wave.
enjoying the ride, you know.
Yeah.
Enjoying
Yeah, I
the
mean,
ride.
it's
I
a
paid
fruit-
my dues, you know.
It's the future, the fruits of your labor, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Correct.
It really is.
I have a question. Out of the 8 founding members, how many are still around? Whether they're alive or
7.
Or 7? Excuse me. And they're still belong to sophisticated few.
Yes.
That's badass, man.
So
I'll tell you what. The one member that we did lose, we lost to a tragic accident due to gang violence in the south side with the brothers. He got caught in crossfire between 2 black gangs, and the bullet hit him in the head while he was driving
oh man.
and killed him.
When was this, T?
What year? You think?
The year I don't remember. I'm awful
remember,
with
Carlos?
dates.
Yeah.
Younger?
About that.
A lot in the 80s, 90s?
I would say the late '90s maybe.
Late 90s? Okay.
But yeah, other than that, the other
But
ones.
there is also one more. Richard.
Oh yeah, Richard.
Richard. So there is one more. So we've lost 2 founding members.
2? Okay.
Yeah, he right before the COVID pandemic, he had got really sick, went into the hospital, and they said They said at the time it was pneumonia, and he ended up passing from it. And then later on, all the symptoms of COVID came out, and so, but unfortunately, we lost him to that as well. But he was one of them guys, like, man, he was strong. He didn't want to go to the doctor. He didn't. He took care of himself. He was one we could always make fun of because he was a bull rider and this. Sure enough, man, he did everything.
He was more of a bullshitter than a bull rider.
We didn't believe him for the longest. We were like, man, I ride bulls, this and that.
We all do.
We didn't believe him for the longest, and then finally, sure enough, man,
He said he had jumped out, skydived,
Yeah.
did karate. He was a bull rider, and I'm like, "You're the biggest bullshit." I'm at his services. I'm looking at all these pictures. I'm like,
And he did
"Fuck
it."
I'm like, he's looking down at me. See, I told you.
Hell
I hate my words, man.
But
I'm like,
he
man.
was. I mean, both members, they were solid, down hard, straight few members, man.
Well, may they rest in peace, man. May they rest in peace. They started something good.
Yeah.
And some of the guys, the original, we still get together.
Nice.
We still hang out, give each other a call, drink a beer, come over here, hang out. You know, one's out of state, one's in a nursing home, but the rest of us, we'll still get together.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
This is
And,
we call it the garage. So
I was-
anytime
garage.
anytime somebody's like, hey, we're gonna get together at the garage, they already know what it means.
Hell yeah.
So I mean, We've had meetings back here. We've gotten get-togethers and everything.
So
back
I
here.
want to ask.
We buried body. Oh no.
Yeah, we don't talk about that.
Let me correct that one.
Because buried dead cats.
Dead cats.
Because I don't know it. So you said you're the sergeant of arms. So
Yes.
T, when you guys got together in '74 and you're going to start a club, how do you lay that out? Or like, what's one of the first things that you guys got to do?
The first thing we had to do was, okay, we have to kind of like
Change your name.
that was a given. But
I mean, can you imagine? They're like, all right, the trophy first place to the fuck ups.
can you imagine riding with other cars in the back with a plaque that said "Los fuck ups"? But no, once we started,
You wanted to get
somewhat
organized. Yeah.
The first thing we have to select a president. Somebody has to kind of like
Get a
be
chain
in
of
charge.
command,
Otherwise-
quarterback it.
Otherwise, we're gonna have 8 guys with 8 different opinions, 8 different decisions.
So you start off with choose a
We need to
president.
come out with some kind of
Hierarchy.
a system to how to organize all this and do that
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Okay. So what does a sergeant of arms do in the
So
club?
technically, any issues that happen among this club, because it's everybody's
Security.
entitled to their own opinion, but at the same time, we're all brothers and sisters at the same time. Because we also have females that are in the club.
Hell yeah.
So if any issues arise or come upon or anything happens, I kind of address it. So that way it doesn't escalate to nothing more.
Like a conflict.
Yeah,
conflict
you know what I
opinions,
mean?
conflict ideas.
So kind of
An
like, hey,
ambassador, yeah.
you tell me what's going on, you tell me what's
Don't you
going
kinda
on, let's resolve this.
Don't you kind of organize at car shows about this?
Yeah,
ain't
so
that,
also
you know,
too, like if we're getting together, let's say there's a big super show going on, and some of the guys are gonna go do the super show, and let's say there's another show going on downtown Phoenix. Okay, well, how many guys decide are gonna do downtown Phoenix? While you guys orchestrate with this, and how many people are gonna do the car show out here, the super show? You guys orchestrate this, and then also we have like rules and regulations that we go by. You know what I mean? So
Bylaws.
It's my bylaws. So
you
it's my
pretty
responsibility.
much police it.
Yeah, so it's my responsibility to make sure that everybody within the club follows those guidelines, even as far as the president, the vice president, everything. Every member has to follow those.
So are these bylaws written down, and were these bylaws created in '74, or do you make changes to them throughout the years, or do you abide by the same bylaws that were created?
We kept it as much as we can to go as
The Ten Commandments.
Yes, exactly.
Made changes over the years.
Yeah.
Because
You gotta adapt.
Right.
Yeah.
right,
You
right.
gotta adapt to the times that it is now. I mean, we can't keep it going from what it was back in '74.
Well, I have to say something because I don't like the bylaw. It says, don't listen to Big T.
With that,
I didn't pick that one.
We need
I
to
didn't
change
pick
that
one,
shit.
all right? But
We're going to take a quick break and we'll come back to the bylaws.
yeah, the bylaw he does like is every time we get together and we have a meeting here, they got to bring a 12-pack or a 20-pack. They can't come empty-handed. So
Big T, that's the right attitude. That's right.
yeah.
No beer, no meeting. Huh?
Yeah,
Earlier, was no shot, no podcast.
He'll turn off all the lights and cut everything off real quick before anything happens.
We're going to take a quick break. And we'll be right back, and we're going to pick up on your bylaw that you hate. We are back.
All right.
We are back. We're gonna pick up on the structure, right? The hierarchy of the club. And Carlitos, you were saying you were the sergeant of arms,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So tell us, you decide who's going to what show.
Yeah,
You handle any beefs.
I kind of work to orchestrate everything. So some guys will be like, because we got members all over. We got some that live in the East Valley. We got some that live in the West, South. So sometimes it's more easier for the guys to go to a car show that's only a mile or two away from them.
Sure.
So, but there's so many things going on, especially now that the weather's cooling off and everything like that. Everybody's throwing a show. So we have enough members to where we can make it to a bunch of different shows. So some of the guys are like, hey, I'm going to do the one over here on the east side or whatever. So my thing is I'll reach out to whoever on the east side. Hey, are you going to do this show? Yes. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a text message together because we have a big old group. I'll get a message together and reach out, and everybody's gonna get in contact with you. You let them know what time we meet at and what time we're gonna roll in, because we don't. The thing we do is we don't ever ride alone. So when we pull in all together.
Yeah.
We'll show up to a show 30 minutes, an hour late.
Rolling deep.
We'll meet up at one spot. Every member shows up, and we all cruise in together. Because you never know, these cars, something can happen anytime. You know what I mean? I mean, you guys.
Yeah.
know.
Your brakes don't work.
Yeah, your brakes don't work, and you go through a fence.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I mean, there's been other times where like my car overheats or my car will die, and hey, I got 5 other members, 10 other members that are gonna help me get this car going, so I make it to that show.
So real quick, let me ask a question. How many members do you guys have?
Right now,
active
in
members.
Right now, Phoenix.
just in Phoenix
The Valley.
alone, we have 30 active members.
Wow.
But we also have Mesa, we have Tucson, we have
Statewide, what would you say?
Eloy.
You have,
Eloy.
We have Casa Grande. Statewide, probably
Casa
we have
Grande. Statewide.
probably another 20 more on top of what we have here.
So 50
So
or
about
60
here.
people, yeah?
Okay,
Nice.
so in those other areas, is there the same structure? Sergeant of Arms, President?
President,
Vice-
yes.
So what is the structure? What are
So-
the roles?
So the roles, you have
Chain
the
of
president.
command.
Chain of command is president, vice president, and
And they roll up to you.
yes, I'm kind of like the guy that, okay, we're gonna do this. Meet up with people. Hey, we want to do this. Just keep everybody going. The basic plan of what we want to do.
And
what
everybody
our
has
ultimate
some
goal is.
So
for
I don't mean to interrupt. So because how we're the mother chapter, everything that we set here follows for every other chapter that
Okay,
goes
it
along.
rolls up.
So we have chapters.
You're the
in-
Pope.
Yeah. So we have chapters in California. We have chapters in Texas. So what our guidelines and everything that we have here, they have to follow as well. And if they decide that they want to try to change something or they want to do something different, they have to come through us first and like, hey man, this is kind of the idea that we have going. Is it okay if we do it this way?
Right.
But that's the good thing about like how we say we have a brothership, because he'll be like, okay, well, let's see. He'll bring it up at another meeting. We get together once a month, every month, just so that way we can talk over shows coming up, new things coming up, anything that's coming up. And he'll be like, hey, this is what's going on over here in this chapter. How do you guys feel about it? Do we feel like we agree on it or do we deny it? And if we all agree about it, then hey, let's go for it. Let them do it.
So are these bylaws? Are they written down? Are they?
Oh yeah,
we have a little book,
they're printed out. And let's say, for example, how California started. They were like, hey, we want to start a chapter. Okay, well here, these are what we go by. This is what needs to happen, and this is
California is actually the president of the California chapter is the son of one of our founding members.
Oh, okay.
Oh, no.
There you go. There you
so
go.
you know what I mean? It's family.
It's connected.
It's all
family.
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 How often do the presidents meet from each? Do you guys meet from each area?
No, but we all communicate. We they'll
Constant
call.
communication.
We have we have our own group or we text. or
Social
we'll
media
call,
now,
social
buddy.
Media. Yeah,
Yeah.
now it's easier just to
Yeah.
Because now you have Zoom. Now you have
Yeah, correct.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So I mean, it's hard for them to be like, "Hey, we're gonna fly in
Right.
to Arizona."
Right.
You know what I mean?
We
It
even-
doesn't work like that. And then
Right.
because we also have some that are even out of the country.
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
wow.
Yeah, so we're not only just in the, you know what I mean?
So I got to take it. So T, that's got to make you immensely proud, man. That
Yeah.
you started in South Phoenix with 8 homeboys or your cousin's family,
The cagapalos.
and now you're.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's got to be.
That's what I tell people. I said, you know what? At one point, because there was no other really car clubs around. At one point, we had over 100 members
Wow.
here just in Phoenix.
Yeah.
But now to see it, now it's down to loyal members that want to be in the few. One thing we've never done, or I don't think we've ever done. I've never done it. I don't go out and recruit anybody. If you got a real nice car, I'm gonna tell you, hey, that's a very nice car. Come join our club. No, if you want to join our club, you ask to get in,
So,
and you show us that you belong
And the
to
thing
be
that,
one of the
and
few.
the thing that we do is like,
I don't ask.
we don't ask for much. Like to be a part of the club, we want you to come and hang out. We want you to come see what it's like. Because, honestly, it does take up a lot of our time. We do this on the weekend. We do this during the week. Like, there's been times where I'll take off of work and I'll go do a car show or I'll go do an event. So we tell them, hey, come and see if this is something you really want to be a part of. Because don't get me wrong, we talk a lot of shit.
It's a commitment.
It's a commitment.
And we bullshit a lot. We talk a lot of shit. We joke around with each other, but it's nothing ever personal. But you know what I mean?
You got to be a good dog, man.
Yeah, exactly. You got to have that sense.
Take it and give it.
You got to have that sense of humor
Yeah.
where you could joke around and we could dish it back out and you take
you're
it.
the right fit.
You know what I
You're the
mean?
right
And
fit.
exactly. Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
So
guys,
we
go
tell
ahead.
the guys, we tell them like, hey, come check it out. Come hang out with us for 2-3 months and see if this is something that you really think that you can commit to. We get it. Family is always going to be priority.
Sure.
And that's what we never take. Family comes first because without family, we wouldn't be where we're at today.
Well said.
Yeah,
But-
it's
well
br-
said.
br-
But
prime
you
example.
also have to make a certain commitment to the club because, this name wouldn't be here 50 years long if we didn't make the commitment and the sacrifices that we did today.
All right, so let me ask you. So you being the grandson of a founding member, and do you ever have that, or have you had that aha moment of like, yeah, my tata created this, and look at all the look at all these members we have. Look at the chapters. that
You ever
we have.
trip out like
Yeah.
Yeah, because honestly, like, who
Don't
would have
fuck it
ever
up.
thought that 8 friends hanging out, drinking, would have created something to where I can pass to my son?
Right.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like when I was a kid, I've always been around lowriders, I've always been around the club and everything like that. But now it's getting bigger than what we all imagined. Like when he probably sat in the front yard thinking of a name to come up with, he never would have thought that 50 years down the line that, hey, my grandkids are gonna be part of it, my great grandkids may be part of it. He never thought that. But now, like I said, it's a unique story because my tata's part of it, my dad's part of it,
Yeah,
I'm part of it.
it is.
Now I have something to pass on to my kids.
It's a reality, brother.
Yeah. So like
Sure, yeah.
sometimes when people ask me like, "Hey man, you got a nice car," or like, "How did you get involved in lowriding?"
Let me tell you the story.
It takes me a lot of pride.
Yeah.
I honestly feel proud to say it.
As
Well, I
you
would
should.
too.
Yeah.
And you got a nice ride. Let me.
Yeah, and then
Everybody knows.
the story behind my ride is also a unique story.
Yeah, your tata was telling
So
me earlier.
if you guys want to touch down to that,
Do
I'll
it,
get
do
into
it.
that. Okay, so my tata has 3 grandsons. He bought us each a car, and built it and gave it to us.
Wow. That's
So
awesome.
that 64 that's sitting outside in the front right now,
That badass 64.
He gave it to me.
Wow.
I've done little bit here and there, maybe switched up the rims, maybe added
Washed
a stereo. Yeah, you know what I mean? Little things like that. But the majority of it was done by him.
Wow.
And now,
That's special, Big T. That's special.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And
think
so
you give me a ride or something, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I charge him a 12-pack though.
So let me ask you a
But-
question real quick. Let me cut you off. So when you join the few, do you sign a contract? Do you sign something that commits you to?
No, we
Okay,
don't,
break,
we
break,
don't.
break it down. What
Yeah, I come to you. I want to be in the club.
exactly? Tell me the process. What exactly does it take to become a member of the few, sophisticated
Well,
few?
pretty much, you come in. We always tell these guys like, it's not a car you have. It's how you
Carry yourself.
Present yourself.
present yourself, and you mingle with us. How we work together. We've had guys, beautiful cars, but this wasn't for them.
Right.
Or it just they didn't have the time where they thought it was. I can come and do this, but this, like he said,
They can
it's,
pick-
It's
it's not a
very
pick and
We're
choose
very
thing.
busy. It's constantly
Right.
something doing.
There's a
something.
commitment.
So you got to be willing to, time, your family. We bring like we said, it's all family related. So it's not just that guy; it's his wife and his kids.
Right,
We
right.
come out, we hang out. So we all go to shows together. Families are involved, and it's how we all make
How you fit?
how you fit in. And exactly, some people, which a majority of us, fit right in. They come in, they prospect for a while, see how they do after 90 days. It's a club vote. Hey, how do you think this guy is? And all the members will vote. Say, hey, you know what? I like them.
And I would imagine at that point you got to judge the wife from the family, right? Because if the old lady ain't into it, then he ain't.
Well, that's why when we have our meetings, like when we have like I said, we get together once a month. We get together. We'll have something. We'll have our meetings, and that meeting is strictly just members only. But afterwards, like once the meeting is done, we'll throw a carne asada together. We'll have like, hey, invite your wife. Yeah, invite your wife, invite your kids, invite your cousins, invite anybody that you think that will be interested and involved in it. Bring them along, and if it's something that they feel like, hey, I can really get into this.
So one thing about that is, it's just not cars though. It's also troquitas.
Yeah.
It's also bikes, motorcycle, Viclas.
Well, we got a motorcycle.
We got a partner that's here right now. His name is Clay. Clay's
Okay.
in here.
He's the
He's the president of the Viclas.
Okay.
And bro, like, who would have ever thought? Like, when we did originally we were just a car club, but a lot of the members, bro, they ride Harleys.
Right.
So why not
Branch out.
extend it or try to, you know what I mean, like bring that in. So when he came in, we didn't think it was gonna blow up as fast as it did with the Viclas.
Right.
And he came in, and another partner from Casa Grande who had already been around for a while, he had a Vicla, and he was like, bro, I got my bike. Like, I can show this. We went and started showing those Viclas, and we started winning first, second, third places at all these shows.
dope.
And it ended up like guys were like, hey, man, how can I get involved? I got a Vicla too.
Right.
And it just expanded so it's not only just lowriders, just cars.
Right.
We have trucks, we have Cadillacs, we have Viclas, we have bicycles.
Don't you have like a couple
like-
4x4s too?
Yes.
Yeah.
And the thing with that is, it's not. We're kind of gone back to the style of our roots were lowrider, so we kind of went back to that. There's other like the guy that has a 4x4. His vehicle is a Blazer, but he's been a member since
30
That Blazer's
plus-
dope,
30
I'm gonna tell you that.
30 something years.
almost 40 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
He was He was here, man. Before I was even, he's few before even me. So long time. So, but he's always been few.
Yeah.
He got the bike and he shows that Blazer, but it's not a plaque in it.
Okay.
But he has, he's building a car.
Okay, okay,
a
got
lowrider.
you.
So we've kind of gone back to try our roots as
As a
stick
lowrider.
to
Yeah,
lowrider.
Okay.
Quick question. So there's not any rules or requirements for the person needs to have on their vehicle to become a fuel member?
What we
Certain
kind of-
size wheels. Certain,
Yeah.
that's
certain
one thing.
Yeah. So we do kind of go by that because originally when we started, we're a lowrider club.
Yeah.
So we try to keep it that structure as a lowrider club. So like guys that come in, I mean, we don't knock it. We don't have anything, but we're trying to keep with the same structure that we started with back in '74 to now.
Nice.
So
Either original
lowrider,
or-
you know what I mean, original or 13x7s or
And I think you said this earlier. So any model make is open as long as it's a lowrider.
yeah.
With certain size.
Thing.
You
meet the
know what I mean?
definition of a
Because I mean,
lowrider.
we don't want to get it. We started as a lowrider club, so we don't want to get it confused to where like, okay, we have 24-inch rims and we have all these gadgets and all this
Yeah.
different stuff because technically you're starting to get out of the lowrider phase.
I would agree. I would agree.
You know what I mean? You're starting to go into a different category.
Right.
Which originally when we started, we didn't have that back in the day.
Right.
We didn't have 20 and 24s, 28s, and all that stuff.
the-
We didn't have the sound.
Those
we
are called tractors.
yeah, you know what I mean.
So
we didn't have crazy sound systems, and we didn't have all these gadgets and stuff like that. So we try to keep it as much.
So this takes me to a question to T again. Back to T. You see the
evolution.
the evolution of how it came about. From when you started out to where it's now. What's really big that stands out in you? The 80s, 90s, the 70s.
I tell you
even.
what,
2000s.
The types of cars that are coming out now, just it blows my mind. Like
What
I
they
said-
can do, right?
Like it says, because we had our cars, drive them every day to work, party with them all week.
Daily
Come
driving.
the weekend, if there's a show, wash it up, clean it, put it in the show. These cars nowadays, there's just so much involved in these cars right now. I don't see
They're
how
works
half the
of
time
art.
they can compete. You know what I mean?
I mean, if you think about it, back
It's
in that
just-
day, you could get in your car and drive it all the way to California, drive it all the way to Texas, drive it all the way just
And they did.
hop in it and drive it. And that's what they did.
That's what we used to do. We'd drive San Bernardino, we'd drive to Yuma,
Damn.
drive to LA and stuff like that.
Well, the gas was only 75 cents back then.
Cheaper than that.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
Can we-
And then that's why I said like I follow people nowadays, and there's a guy. I mean, I don't know his name, but there's a guy on YouTube who's been going through lowrider magazines from when it first started.
Wow.
And I have screenshots and pictures and all that of where like when back in 74, 75, 76, all the way through the 80s where Sophisticated Few first started coming out. And I've never seen these magazines before.
Wow.
And I was able to find him on YouTube, and I've been seeing pictures and where our cars are in San Bernardino, or where they're in Texas, or where they're in Colorado, or where they're in Seattle, or whatever. And they'll show Sophisticated Few first place, Sophisticated Few second place, Sophisticated Few third place. So that's what I'm saying. Back in the day, you get in your car and, hey, we're gonna go way over here, and back in the day they used to go. He said they had 100 members. So back in the day, there used to be 50,
caravan,
50 60 cars
Yeah.
going all along the highway, only going 30 miles per hour, cruising along the highway just to go to a
MC85
show.
all the way.
Hey, just to go to a car show. And they go to a car show and they show, represent, get their trophies, and come right back.
Hey,
Like,
Big T, question for you. So, I want to rewind a little bit. So, was there ever a point in the transition with lowriding from when you started where you kind of cringed, like you didn't really like this
The way it was headed.
where it was headed, this new style of anything?
No. I've always kind of thought, damn, when are they going to quit coming up with new ideas?
New ideas, all right. And then
The ideas just kept coming and coming. You know, you used to, if you had a candy paint job, you're a badass.
Yeah.
Then you started with patterns, then the pinstriping, then the wheels, and then the hydraulics, you know, and then the airbag. I mean, and now everything is so much high tech.
yeah.
Yeah. Do it with your phone.
I would have never guessed anything like that. You know,
So-
what I mean?
No, I
So
mean,
that-
it just builds on itself.
So my
It does.
Disc
That's what
brakes.
makes it. That's what makes it
Yeah.
a unique. That's
LS
what makes it a
Motors.
unique sport. And if you're into the sport, which it is a sport,
absolutely.
then you have to be fully dedicated to do what it takes.
Yeah.
When you first seen a car juiced, what were your thoughts? Like, damn,
You know
man.
what?
Like,
I gotta have
I,
that.
I thought for sure. I said, "Damn, what I got to do to get that shit?" You know what I mean?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And then, but oh my God, my first set of hydraulics were like, they could probably be in the hydraulic Hall of Fame and shit. These things were so little
Yeah.
and so old, and we used to use
Like Timmy.
pumps off lift gates, you know,
Yeah. yeah.
off a lift gate.
Gate, yeah.
So you didn't like, you'd be like,
I mean, if you think about it,
I los vamos.
Slow.
if you guys ever think about it, they used to try to see how high they could go off of a can.
Can, yeah, like
Oh,
a
if
tall
you
boy.
could-
Yeah.
Oh.
if you
Top
could,
boy.
if you
Yeah.
could jump off, if you
You
could
were a
jump
bad
higher than a beer
motherfucker if
can,
you could
were
jump over a
badass.
can.
Yeah.
And now,
I watched
they're-
Boulevard
now they're
Nights. I've seen
bumpers.
that.
You remember that? You remember that Boulevard Night? They were going off of a bottle. If you could jump over a bottle, you're a bad motherfucker. You know what I mean? But nowadays, you got cars that are fucking doing
Flipping over.
flipping over, falling
I'm
on
not
their
exaggerating.
hoods,
There's
or-
cars that are
No,
flipping
really,
over.
literally,
I
they're
know.
flipping over, and you know what I mean. They're doing all this stuff now. So it really escalated from back in '74 to where it is now. It's crazy.
let me kind of back up here a
Sure.
little bit. I want to tell you one story.
Go for it.
Go for it.
This is early in the lowriders when Lowrider magazine broke out their first super show in LA at the Shrine Auditorium. You know, we talk about we'd get our cars and just drive them. I had a 63 Impala. I drove it to LA and I said, I'm going to enter that damn show. I don't remember what year. I'm awful with times and years and dates and all that. And I took it to the Lowrider Super Show at the Shrine Auditorium. They put me up on the second level because I was by myself, no club, no nothing. And the other car clubs took over the main floor and all that shit. The first car out of California, other than California, that ever took a trophy or placed in a category.
Hell
Oh, hell yeah.
And you did that on a whim, huh?
I got third place for best paint on my 63 Impala.
Damn.
And I was so fucking happy.
Hell yeah.
I was like, shit. Nobody outside of California nobody even went to that show.
And you drove it out.
And you drove
I
it.
drove it out there.
That's
30
awesome.
miles an hour.
Yeah.
I might have speeded and went 35. But yeah,
What a 30 pack.
I drove my shit out there. I took my wife, my kids.
That's what I was gonna say. Were you with your wife and kids?
Yes, I drove them out there. My brother lived out there. So I told him, hey, stay with my brother. I got to go wash the car and go put it in the show. I told my canal, I said, hey, pick me up later, bro. I'll be here at the Shrine Auditorium. And I went through the whole routine and shit like that. Before I even went to the show, I went down to Compton. I went to a little place called Dave's House of Chrome. Bought a tube grill, bought a little steering wheel. I threw it on there in the parking lot.
Listo.
Cleaned it up, took it to the Shrine Auditorium. You go on the second floor. I said, hey, fucking get la chingada. But I mean, on the main floor was like 12 members of the Dukes, Imperials, and all these guys that all these high-tech cars back in the days. But when they started handing out the trophies, and I got third place, I was one proud motherfucker.
Hell yeah.
You were.
Shit, yeah.
Let me ask you this.
Hell yeah.
Going to all these shows, did you ever get to see, and I'm sure you have, the Gypsy Rose?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I knew Jesse Valdez.
Okay.
Oh, shit.
Wow.
Is that car in the museum now?
There's three of them. One of them's in a museum.
But the original one, where's that one
The
at?
original is in the museum.
It's in the museum. Yeah.
And the other two, Gypsy Roses, the son drives one to certain exhibitions.
Okay.
And the third one, I think, is in Anderson's in California.
All right. Well,
So,
damn, that's badass, man.
No, I saw
You got to
Gypsy
see the
Rose.
original Gypsy Rose.
I saw the Tower of Power, 56 Chevy.
Hell yeah.
I saw the one that Joe Ray built, that Riviera with the coffin, Dressed to Kill.
Dressed to Kill. That's one of my
Dressed to
favorite
Kill.
lowriders, man.
I was at a show with all these guys, Dressed to Kill. You know, all them cars were in the show.
Yeah.
And so, just to kind of let everybody know, the listeners or whatever, people who are watching, Joe Ray.
Yeah.
Do you want to say who that dude is or whatever? Because
Well, Joe Ray was president. My understanding of Joe Ray is that he was the president of Lifestyle back in the days.
Okay.
And he broke out with that Dress to Kill, which was just untouchable. You can't compete with that shit.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And he was the president of Lifestyle. And just the cars that he built, the Las Vegas car.
Yep.
And the other car, Joe Ray just became a name with Lowrider. And
Pink Floyd.
He got involved with the Lowrider magazine. He's running Lowrider now. You know, I met Joe Ray years ago. But I mean, what can you say about him?
Yeah, no, I'm just saying because that's a name that stands out in the lowrider
You know,
community.
look at his latest car, that Hell Dorado. Have you seen that?
I haven't seen it.
Look up Hell Dorado, and you'll see the kind of work.
Hell Dorado.
Hell Dorado. It's an El Dorado.
Hell no.
But Joe Ray is a badass dude. I mean, he makes a lot of. He makes sense. He makes a lot of cars. I shouldn't say he makes sense, but he's
he's a designer.
very good for the sport. You know.
Yeah.
See, that's the story you told of driving to LA with your kids, your old lady, in the car.
Yeah.
You take their place. You grab a few parts in Compton. That's dope.
That's legendary.
I think that's dope.
That's legendary.
That's legendary.
That's a great story. That's
Hey, you know, and I don't know. It's just I wanted to do the show because it's gonna be the first ever lowrider super show, and I wanted to represent.
Damn.
Right.
And I said, I'm gonna do whatever I gotta do to get. I got there. I knew I needed parts. I told my brother that lives over there. I said, I'm gonna go down to Compton and get these parts from Dave's house. He goes, are you crazy? You going to Compton? And I said, I ain't worried about it, brother. Shit, let's go, you know.
Yeah.
And I went down there and got what I needed. I put it on right there in the parking lot,
Damn, that is tight.
and
That
then
is
went
so
to the
tight.
Shrine Auditorium.
That's so tight.
So
Hey,
and this was
And
before
you know,
hang on,
and you know
hang on.
what's a crazy
Quick.
story is? Okay, so back in the day, he did that, It still happens to this day.
Hang on. Save the story. We're going to take a quick break real quick, all right? We got to take one more break, and we'll come back for another segment.
Yeah,
All right? Ready to rock and roll. Okay.
And we're right back. Hey,
Hey,
we're right back with SeunevA Lifestyles. What's happening podcast? Hey, T,
yes, sir.
you told us a story right now about going to LA and winning third place over there, and that was really prideful for you. You have any other stories you could tell
You
me?
know, I got one other one. Well, I got
Got a whole
You
Bible.
got a shitload.
well, one time we were cruising Central right there in the old days. We were just parked there, and my compadre Richard, he was one of the original members también. Y le dije, compa, he goes, hey, man, it was Friday night. He goes, hey, there's a car show in Bakersfield. He goes, you want to go? I said, vámonos a la chingada.
Like that.
Just like that.
I love the attitude.
Just like that. So I went down the street, got my wife, my kids, came back, said, we'll meet in half an hour. All I did was check the water, oil, gas, and mama, we took off to Bakersfield. Drunker than shit.
It was legal back then.
It was.
Ended up in New York.
It took
They
us
went the wrong way.
It took us like 15 hours to get to Bakersfield. My
Took a wrong turn at Coima.
compa had a 63 Impala también. It was a hopper. And I had my 63 Impala. And we just followed each other. We took off. We went up to Bakersfield.
Son of a bitch. That's
Got there, partied all night. Next day, we went to the car show. He was gonna put his car in for a hop, and I was gonna put my car. And they go, hey, you can't park your car. You can't enter your car. You can't put your car there. I said, what do you mean I can't put my car there? They go, no, it's for car. Well, fuck that shit then. I said, I'll be right back. We went back to the hotel, threw some rims on it because we took the original rims off to ride on regular tires.
Sure.
yeah.
We took it out. We threw the fucking true spokes on there. We threw the skirts on there. We cleaned it up. We filled up the trunk with about 3 cases of Coors Light. A Coors beer, I should.
Coors.
OG
Coors.
Coors.
The banquet beer.
Coors Light wasn't out yet. Coors, we went back and I said, okay, I'm going to enter it in the show. So I put it in the show, and it was already painted, candied, bannered. But I didn't want to do it. I wasn't going up there for the show. I was just going up there so my compa could hop. Well, I put it in there. Long story short, when it came time to hand out the trophies, I ended up getting first place, best paint in show. And they handed me a trophy about 5, 6, 7 feet tall.
Hell yeah.
I said, what am I supposed to do with this shit? Threw it in the fucking got it.
My dad, when he got his 62 fix, when he was getting ready to go do the Vegas show, at 3 a.m, he was putting his car together, realized that there was parts missing. I give a big shout out to OG Mondo. OG Mondo was the one who painted a lot of our cars back in the day. He passed away, rest in peace. But he called OG Mondo, hey, my parts are missing. He's like, what parts are missing? He's like, I'm missing this. Oh, shit, I have them. All right, hey, you know what? My partner's going to meet you right here off of, what was it?
Riggs Road.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, shit.
So this was already 3 a.m. So him, his compadre Vincent, all them, they drive all the way out there, pick up the parts, go back home, try to put some of the parts together. His compadre was like, hey, compa, let's just go call it a night. We'll fucking pick it up in the morning. We'll put all the parts together. They slept for maybe 30 minutes to an hour. Got back up, got ready, put the car to Vegas, went to Vegas and did the super show out there in Vegas.
Damn.
And Rick, he told me, because they were coming from Eloy, Mondo was out there, and he's like, the guy will meet you on Riggs Road. I said, all right, cool. I-10, the freeway and Riggs Road. Guy called me, I'm on Riggs Road. But he came through Florence. So I had to take Riggs Road.
All the way down Surface Street.
I didn't know Riggs Road went that far. I'm out
You
there.
do now.
Yeah, I do now.
Yeah.
But that was an adventure, man.
Some of the things we do for the hobbies that we love, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sure. That's what I'm saying. Like,
Had my partner Rick inside my trunk of my car because we were lining up the trunk, in the dark. He's with his phone, light, tightening all the bolts in there,
Wow.
putting all the emblems in there, and that's what we were missing was emblems and a couple of held the lights in and everything. I'm like,
Damn.
man,
Like,
we're not gonna make
30 minutes of sleep.
Yeah. I want to ask you before we introduce our new member here. How did you get involved in this sophisticated few?
Man, that's
Okay, tell me real quick
you know
because
what? That is a crazy story. Okay.
I have a choice.
You pull me aside, said you're going,
Yeah, he did the old school.
He did the baby boy, you know,
Yeah, you ever see the baby boy? Go to sleep, Jody. Jody.
who's this guy? Who's
Yeah.
this
this guy.
So
Growing
Tell me the
up,
story.
You
high
name my
school-
daughter?
What's crazy is I met
Get in the
their
truck.
daughter, my best friend Alex in high school.
Yeah.
Sanchez, which George and Chris probably know, and he played baseball with Adam Hill.
Yeah.
Yep.
He
And
was on the A's. Yeah.
They were the A's.
Yeah.
yeah.
So his older brother Vincent, older brother Alex was my best friend in high school. He's like, hey, let's go to Carhay and we're gonna go see a wrestling match. So, all right, cool.
Hell yeah.
So we went there, and I ended up meeting my wife Tony, sister there,
Uh-huh.
and Mona, their older sister. And after that, they picked us up from the game. We came over here. I met Big T and all them, which Alex's dad and
Big T.
Big T have been friends since childhood.
Oh, okay.
So
Small world.
Yeah.
we met. We were friends. Not until a couple years later, I started dating sister, and we ended up.
Your own wrestling match.
We'll leave it at that. We'll leave it at
There you go.
Leave
Yeah.
it at that.
That is.
He didn't have security clearance then.
That was it. You know what I mean? That was a wrap after that. You know what I mean?
I met him.
Like we told Chico, be a gentleman.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Keep it friendly. I don't want to hit him and shit.
Rated G. Rated G.
It was funny, I met
G-Funk.
T, and then he was from Sophisticated Few, and growing up in high school, every summer you knew that car show was going to be at the Civic Plaza, and everybody cruised Central afterwards. So, freshman year, sophomore year, you go to do those shows, go cruising, and you saw these lowriders. I lived on 6th Street and Sunland, so we'd walk over to Central and go watch all the cars
Watch
cruise.
cars.
That's where I grew up at.
So let me ask a question. Prior to you meeting the family, were you lowriding, or you just like say just walking out checking out the cars?
Walking out, checking out the cars.
Okay,
Actually,
okay.
my next door neighbor had a '64 Super Sport, just primered.
Okay.
And his younger brother, they would take it and we'd go riding around in it.
All right. All right.
And loved it. They took me on Central. I was like, man, this shit's badass. Seeing cars out there, like some clean cars, and like
Yep.
said, saw the cars out there,
Fell in love.
few cars, and all that. You go to the shows, saw these cars, and I was like, man, I want a car one of these days. I'm gonna build one. I'm gonna get one. I gotta do. You know what I mean?
That's
and
sick.
like I said, later on down the line, I met sister, I met Tony, and we ended up getting married. He took me under his wing.
And here we are.
He helped me, start off. You know what I mean? Showed me, took me under his wing, showed me what to do. I started, like I said, all my first cars were either Cutlass, G bodies. Had a Cadillac. I had an IROC. I had a couple of Monte Carlo Super Sports.
Dang.
You know what I mean? But
It sounds like it was meant to be.
yes.
And
That's
that's,
what definitely
and that's
meant to
why I
be.
say it's such a unique story because, who would have ever thought that my tata, who started a club down Raymond Street, that my dad would be president of, and that I will become sergeant at arms, and that now I get to pass it on to my sons and my kids.
What's funny is also, my wife, Mona, all them with the car Hayden. That's how I met Bernadette. That was
Yeah.
their friend.
Yeah, there
And
you
I
go.
ended up meeting all you guys too.
Who's Bernadette?
Bernadette? Who Bernadette?
So you know what I mean?
Nobody know Bernadette.
It just it was meant to happen. You know what I mean? And it worked out for me. You know what I mean? Like I said, Tony and all the guys took me under the wing. They treated me. You know what I mean? They showed me the ropes. Like OG Mondo was. You know what I mean? I met that guy. Right from the minute I met him, he was like, "Hey, whose car is that under the carport? That's mine." Because when you're ready to fix it up, let me know. And it would have never happened if it wouldn't have happened.
Hey, Carlos, I'm
And
ready
then
to fix
what's
up a
crazy,
car.
what the funny story is, and what the crazy story is, so how he had my dad's 62, he also did my 64, and which my tata gave to me.
Right,
So when the time came, he was like, Mio, you ever need a car done? And he is honestly that genuine person. If he knew you or he had a lot of love for you, He didn't care what it took, whatever. He was gonna take care of it.
Shirt off his back.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why I said I get a lot of love to OG Mondo
And his brother Didi.
and his brother Didi, because Didi,
Okay.
them two, they literally did that car, and I still have that car to this day, exactly the same way that my tata gave it to me, the same way that they did it.
See that. It
And
goes to show, man, how life is, right? If you're a good dude, you're a good dog, right? You birds of feather flock together, right? It's amazing how life can work out, right? It's truly amazing.
And you never realize, you know how they say it's a small world, but you never truly realize it until like car shows or events, and you start meeting people. Like, I didn't realize how many people my tata had already knew, how many people that my dad had knew, until I actually I didn't really get involved into the car club scene until like 2017. So 2017.
And how old were you at that time?
20.
Do the math.
20. I've been in it all my life, but I honestly
Correct.
didn't really get involved into it and serious with it until maybe 24, 25, 2017.
When you're about 25 years
Yeah,
old?
and I'm already 31 now. So
Alright.
2000. So
Viejo.
I feel it. You see all
He
the
was
gray.
always around and
Right. Yeah.
doing
Right.
stuff, but he really got involved. Like, I want to do more. I don't just want to show up and park a car
Because
and do that.
I could have chose the easy way out. I could have just been like,
You know
oh,
what?
my
You know
tata,
what?
my tata's
Right,
big
right.
T.
When Carlito-
My tata's big T. I'm a member.
My dad's the president, we're the coattails.
But the same way how I wanted to make my own name for myself in this. I wanted to do what I had to do. I wanted to put in my work
Attaboy.
in it. I didn't want it just to get handed to
And
me.
that's like,
Yeah.
you
No,
said,
no.
that's
And
what-
he did.
That's big. That's
He-
big.
he Carlitos, he could have easily just rode the skirt. I'm in, my grandpa's.
Yeah.
You know, no, Carlitos showed his initiative, what he wanted to do, what he wanted to be, and he wanted to be a member of the club. You know, I mean, automatically he would have been in.
Right.
But he showed he wanted to be a member. He wanted to participate. He wanted to do something, and he's the one to this day. He's like, Grandpa, he's still trying to get me so involved in the club because he's so involved in it.
But that's good. That's good.
And
for
I'll
you,
tell
Bill.
him.
That's good.
I mean, I get my
because you know it needs new blood.
exactly.
Exactly.
And that's what I said. Also, so like my tata, he's already done everything that he needs to do. But I still try to keep him involved as much as I can, because if it wasn't for him, we wouldn't be where we're at today.
Yeah,
If
because
it wasn't for him and the A members and the sacrifices that they did back in 74 and 80s and 90s, we wouldn't be where we're at today. So that's why I like, hey, tata, we got this going on. If you want me to pick you up, we'll pick you up, or this and that. I try to keep him as much as involved as I
That's
can.
cool, man.
But I still try to make a name for myself, because I don't want people to be like, oh, wow, he just got it because
Yeah, you don't
it's
want to. You don't want to
Tata.
hand.
I
it to
want
us.
it.
You don't want to
Yeah,
hand it to you.
exactly. And the same thing I'm trying to do for my son. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want him just to say like, oh, well, my great tata and my great tata or my tata and everybody, I got it. No, the same way
Gotta
that
work
I
for
had
it.
to earn it, man, I was 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 years old. I was underneath cleaning wheels. I was underneath polishing. I was underneath setting stuff up. I did what I needed to
Well,
do.
you didn't have no choice. You want to go to the show?
Yeah, shit. But like I said,
was
it's just
cheap then.
because
Earn your keep and shit.
that's where I said the unique story behind it comes between. You know what I'm saying?
Right, here,
Is man, I just didn't get grandfathered into
You didn't
it.
get handed
I
to you.
earned it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Between-
And that's where I became the sergeant at arms. Because honestly, when I first started, I never thought I was gonna be sergeant at arms, or I was gonna be next. My dad was gonna be president. I never thought that when we were kids. But now that the fact that I get to say like, hey, yeah, my tata's a founding member. Hey, my dad's a president, and now I'm the sergeant at arms.
Yeah,
Who would have ever thought that 3 generations of this would have still continued 50 years down the line?
No,
That's why it's a dope story.
Yeah, you have a lot to be proud of.
Exactly.
What I tell you,
And that's why I
clean
said,
clean that wheel, bring me a beer.
hey,
Clean the next wheel, bring me another beer.
it worked. And so now 50 years down the line, I get to say that, hey, I'm a proud member of Sophisticated Few Car Club that my tata started, and that my dad is the president of. And now I get to say to my kids, hey, when you join this, that's 4 generations.
The legacy.
Of
Yeah.
your great grandfather and your tata and your dad had all a part of doing this.
Actually, you can tell
Yeah,
your son, hey, clean the wheel, give me a beer. Just like you thought.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You know what I mean?
You
We're
think this
fortunate.
podcast will last 50 years?
It ain't gonna last.
We're very fortunate.
but
Yeah.
Because, you know, I mean, like I said, Big T and all the guys took me in. They showed me, hey, you know, this and this. They showed me the ways. They introduced me to their people. And that's how I got my feet wet. I, you know, started learning, and they were always there. All of them were there to help us. And they took the few from the 70s to the mid 80s. And they created that name. Then from there on, another president took it over and took it to the next level. Now it's my turn to take it from where they stopped to hold as far as I can take it.
Different.
And eventually, he's gonna do.
and they're doing it
things
the
that I
right,
can
and you're
never
doing it the
follow.
right way.
Yeah.
Right. You're doing it the right way.
So that
tried.
brings up a good So you guys said you guys came back with a vengeance, and you did, and now we want to introduce Clay.
So yeah, so that's why I said. So when my dad came in, he came back with a vengeance. He wanted to make sure that this name, Sophisticated Few, stayed another 50 years. Not just the 50 that we're at right now, but
Right.
another 50 years. So he did what he had to do.
You guys are doing what you have to do. I truly believe that.
You know what I mean? He
Yeah.
he really stuck out to it, sacrificed a lot.
Right.
Just to make it go.
So we-
and then this is where, you know what I mean, my partner, I call him my tío, because like I said, everybody that we come in, we treat each other as family. So even though he's not my brother, that's still my tío.
Right.
So my tío Clay came in, and as soon as he came in, he had that same drive that all 3 of us had to make sure that this name lasts another 50, 60, 70, 80 years.
So Clay, you're the president of the Viclas,
Yes.
and you came into the Sophisticated Few around what time?
It was around the end of 2019.
2019. And so I understand
I'm a COVID baby.
a COVID
COVID member.
yeah. So I understand you're kind of instrumental in some of the networking that the Sophisticated Few has been able to make and is headed, right? Can you
Yeah.
explain a little bit about that?
Well, so that's what I was gonna say. Was this club is unique in its own because, yeah, you have other clubs that are as old, been around as long, but the dynamics of this club is different. We've been through our ups and downs. I wasn't involved in all that stuff, but I know the history of it
Right.
because we became like family right away, and so knowing all that.
Well, hang on. Let me interrupt. How did you get involved?
I talked to a friend of mine, Gabriel Gonzalez, and he was telling me, you know, you should check out the club, man. You should come hang out with us. I think you would make a good fit.
Right.
So I didn't really want to do that until my bike was done.
Don't listen to these guys.
I'm sorry. Yeah, we just had a light camera action moment right now. You know what I mean? So
It's like Waas and Lambo.
yeah. I mean, so,
Love that show, bro.
Clap your hand.
yeah. So
Those
we just
it turns into a shit show sometimes.
we just had a moment. So go ahead.
Yeah, so I didn't want to go around the guys until my bike was complete. So I got it painted, got it running, got everything done.
Well, tell us about your bike. What is it?
So that's a story in itself, man. So it was my dad's bike. It's a 1996 Heritage Softail.
Oh, nice.
And it was his bike for years. And when he first got it, it was Viclas style. It had the bars and pipes. It even had the fishtails on it. And
Belt driven or chain driven?
belt.
Belt. Okay,
yeah,
nice.
yeah. It's a Evo 80. But over the years, he kind of tore it apart. He wanted to make it a bobber. He wanted to, you know, my dad's kind of a white dude when it comes to that stuff. So, you know, he wanted to do all this stuff to it. And then one day he told me, you know, I'm going to sell the bike. And I said, what? I'll take it. You know, how much will you sell it to me for? And he ended up giving me a really good price. We won't mention that price. But anyways, I decided from there on. So
I don't mean to interrupt, but we'll have to mention the first time that he ever placed at a show, because we don't go with the intentions thinking like, hey, we're gonna fucking win all
Not
these
your
prizes.
tata. Not your tata.
Well, no,
Yeah,
my
yeah.
tata
He
guaranteed.
drives
he
across
wins.
the state.
So,
Line.
but see, like I said, that's how times have changed. So like me, I'm competing with guys that have all chrome undercarriage, engraving, all this and
another
that.
story.
I go just to represent the name, and I go to have fun to keep it going. The first time that he ever won, bro,
Hey, my bike was completely stock at the time. It had candy paint. That was it.
we went and did the Scottsdale show out there at the, what was it? The Scottsdale?
Westworld.
Oh,
Lowrider
did you go?
magazine. So, you know, at the time, Viclas weren't that popular.
Yeah.
And this was only three years ago.
Yeah.
3
Yeah,
years
yeah.
ago.
Yeah,
Viclas
it
have
wasn't
come a long way
it
in
wasn't
the
a
past
big
3 years.
thing. It wasn't a big thing back in the day. V-Class weren't, because lowrider shows were literally lowrider shows. V-Class weren't really a part of that.
I would agree because he said what 2017, 2018 you joined.
2019.
2019.
Yeah. So, anyways, I take the bike to the show, man. We park it in front of Carlos's car, and you know we're doing the show. It was my anniversary, yeah.
Yeah, it was.
It was my anniversary,
Yeah.
bro.
Wedding or
My
Are you
me and
sure?
my wife.
No,
yeah.
are you
Yeah, no, I'm positive, bro.
We're
she's
getting
giving me
trouble
the nod
here.
right now.
She's looking over here.
Yeah.
We're sitting in the
So
stands,
anyway,
so-
we're sitting in the stands. They're calling the numbers for the bikes, and you know I'm looking at my thing. You know we hope we're gonna place. So I'm looking at my number. They're calling the numbers. I'm looking in, and I go, they call me. Was that my number? I go,
We're all sitting there.
Yeah. I go,
all
hey.
sitting- we're
I
like,
said,
hey,
Carlitos, they just
we just
my
called
number?"
you.
And he goes, yeah, I think they called your number. I was like, and instantly started shaking. My knees started shaking. I was like,
Clay, come on
I go,
down.
they called my number. That was my number. So I get up and I go down there to get my plaque, and when they gave it to me, fingers locked up. Like I held onto that plaque like it was the last plaque in the world.
Dropped it.
Did your lips
And
start-
I turned
You should
around.
see, like,
I
he
turned
looked
around
like,
and
like he could have walked, bro. Like he literally
I held onto the plaque like a schoolgirl with their books, bro. I was like, I turned around and I walked across, and when I looked at where they were sitting, it looked like miles away, bro. My knees were shaking, and I get back. I was so excited, man. This guy's
looked like he
laughing
wanted
at
to
me.
cry.
Yeah. He walked up, bro. I bullshit you not. He walked up with the plaque, and he
My
was just
knees
like,
were shaking. I was like,
Don't touch it. Don't touch it.
so
like,
so
you know what I
listen.
mean?
So listen. This is why. This is why.
Tell us why.
So I built that bike. I built it for my mom. My mom passed away in '95. My mom was a biker chick. She loved Harleys. So I thought, I'm going to build this for her. He doesn't make me cry.
It's okay.
Hey,
So I built this
This is
bike
a
for her.
safe
You know,
Safe space.
yeah. What happens in here stays in here.
That's what the
Right?
sign says.
Yeah.
Cry. We'll make fun of you later.
So, anyways,
There
I
you
built
go.
this bike for her, man, and to win the first time showing it like that. I mean, it had everything to do with that.
Sure.
You know what I mean? It had everything to do with her being involved in that, and
And that's fantastic.
yeah, that's one of the reasons why I went to the next level with it. You know, we had it pinstriped, had it gold leafed, did some other little things to it. And I'm still doing things to it.
Right.
Hey,
But,
but the unique story behind that is, so he went from doing that show, he went from third place to second place to first place.
So that show was first place.
Yeah.
With your mom's
So,
bike.
Yeah,
Nice.
Yeah,
get it
that
right,
was first
Carlitos.
place.
It was first
right.
place.
Hey,
The
but,
other place.
So 3 years in a
he's
row-
won every category.
Hell yeah.
He's
Every
won
place.
third, second, and first. Just from as simple as adding a gold leaf to it, or
So
adding
it sounds
some
like
lights to it.
you built this bike, you said, for your mom,
Yeah, me
or
and my
in your
dad
mom's
built
honor, right?
Yeah.
So it sounds like what Sophisticated Few is all about. It's
Exactly.
family.
Exactly. That's what I was getting at. It's the story behind the club is the reason why I'm so dedicated to the club.
Right.
It's just not a bike.
Not just
It's not a bike.
not
It's
just a bike.
It's a
So I'm not a cemetery guy. I don't like going to the cemetery where my mom's at. I have a brother there too. I'm just not a cemetery person. So
Sure.
when I do ride my bike, I'm with my mom.
But
You know what
yeah.
I mean?
You know,
and also my dad's a big bike guy. He has a Harley now. That was his bike. You know what I mean? So I'm pulling that legacy of that motorcycle through my family because my son's already told me I want that bike.
hell yeah.
You know, he's not a big Vicla guy, but he's a bike guy, and he's already told me that bike's mine. You know, so it's gonna get passed down, and,
Sure.
and that's what means the most.
for a price.
You know, as Big TV, you know,
It gets less and
in
less
the
as it
lowrider
goes.
sport, a lot of builds have that type of story or dedication to somebody within their family
Right.
that they dedicate that car, and that's what I think also makes the lowrider community and lowrider culture unique, because there's that story behind the vehicle that people
it's
don't
an
get to
art.
usually tell.
It's an
Well,
art.
the inspiration usually comes from like, you
And
know,
so
I'm gonna
what's
dedicate
crazy
this
is,
car to my mom.
I don't mean to
type of thing.
interrupt, but like
Yeah.
another unique story that I get to tell is my grandma, my great grandfather. He had a car
Yeah.
that he had fresh off the lot, had it for a while. He let it sit for a long time. Well, I mean, if you guys look, there's a Regal parked right behind here,
Yep.
84 Regal. Well, that was my great grandfather's car. Well, now that's my car. So
I have the title still. It's my name.
that's what I said.
I paid for it.
Hey, but let me.
I haven't seen the money.
Hey, but no. You know what card I pull? I pull the mom card, mom, and that shit shuts down real quick. That's my car. But like I said, the unique story behind it is so like my great grandfather, that was his car. So I was grateful enough that I have it. My dad got it for me, and he told me, this is your build. Like, you're gonna do whatever you want to do to this car the way that you want to do it. Whatever you have in your head that the way you see this car gonna be, that's what you're gonna do.
Your vision.
So now, like I said, I have sons now. I have 2 boys, and I got daughters. Now I get to pass that on to them, and they can do something with it. I mean, I'm gonna build it the way that I feel is fit, but at the end of the day, when I'm done and I'm retired and I'm ready to kick back and just chill, they're the ones who are going to be the ones to decide what they want to do with it and what they see their image doing it.
Correct.
Right.
You know what I mean? But like I said, the unique story is it's going to be the 4 generations.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
You know what I mean?
so Clay, so now you went first place,
Yeah.
and then
Beers and all that good stuff.
yeah. So now,
It's your anniversary too. Remember?
Yeah. There you go. Anniversary, tears.
Oh, he was surprised because we like to joke amongst all of us.
I can
So we had
tell.
my vice president is Rick Reese. We were at a Spirits anniversary one year. Rick, we got a little bit, had too much, and they're doing a raffle, and he's sitting there at the table, and we're all just messing around, and they call a number. Rick, you won, bro, and he's for real. Like, yeah. Go, man, you won. You won. And we're sitting there fucking laughing. He gets up and he goes up there to claim his prize. I think it was they were offering the hydraulics pump.
Oh shit.
And he goes up there and he gives the ticket. They're like, this isn't even the number, bro. In front of everybody.
Carlos.
This is everybody, bro.
Dude,
It's like saying bingo.
hold on. Time out. I've heard this story, dude.
Yeah,
we've done that shit.
I've heard this story.
Bro, but that's what I'm saying. We joke around a lot. We have fun during it.
You can't take life too
Freaking
seriously.
hilarious.
Bro.
That's funny because my buddy was telling me the story about a dude, blah, 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 blah. Now I know what.
Yeah, that's what it was. That's what it was.
He walked up there.
He walked up. Hey,
strutting his
and
stuff,
if you
cool
know,
as a
if you ever, he walked
See him strut.
like that. He walk up like, yeah, I fucking
out of the
won.
way,
You know
get
what
out
I
of the
mean?
way.
Like I got it. Went up there like, we didn't call your number.
Now I can put a face to
fuck?
it, dude.
And a belly.
I've heard.
And a belly.
Hey, Clay, real quick, how many bikes you guys got in the club? Since you're the bike president.
We got, let's see. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 bikes.
Nice. All Harleys?
Yeah, all hard.
All Harleys.
Tim's bike is a custom build. I believe it's not a Harley, but it's a
It's a Titan.
Yeah, it's
but
a Titan.
it's a like a
But
chopper style.
It's a very unique looking Vicla because it still has that Vicla look.
Right.
And it's a suicide shifter, so it's pretty badass.
Like I said, how we all keep it within family. The unique story behind that is OG, the original member Bobby Gonzalez. His son had a bike, got rid of it, sold it, and my father-in-law, who has that bike now, that Titan, he got it off of the guy that his son sold it to. So it still stayed within the club.
Well, even like Mike's Impala, right? It used to belong to our Theo of ours. And then he sold it to his dad, and then
So,
became Michael's.
you know what I mean? So the unique story is, you know what I mean? The original member, his son had a bike, sold it, got rid of it, and my father-in-law picked it up, got it back, and now it's still part of the club. And he did his own unique custom touch to it, and now he's showing it at all these shows.
See what happened, Big T?
Yeah, look what you started.
See what you started, right?
But then also,
See what the fuck up started?
See what the fuck up started?
there you
I
go.
would ask Vince's dad for years and years.
Yeah.
He had that 63 rag packed out there next to a 55
yeah.
Chevy.
Yeah.
And I would say, Vince, you ready to sell the car? No, I'm going to sell it. I asked him probably 100 fucking times.
No, my son's gonna wreck it later on.
Yeah, my son's gonna-
And then I know to get off the topic.
no
I know to get off the topic, but like I said, Clay really had a big part in where we're at today because of the networking. Like you don't realize how much when you get in this lowrider culture, when you start meeting people and you start opening up and you start reaching out, like how big it can really go. So when Clay joined the club and we didn't really think nothing of it. Like we were just like, hey, here's another member who's gonna come and Viclas and this and that. Well, man, Clay really knows how to network. He really knows how to connect with people.
And as you can see,
And-
these guys love to talk. I don't. I just
Yeah, and so
in the background.
and so we would go
say
to
something.
places, man. Like I mean, I'm not really like I can talk, but I'm not the. No.
No.
Hey. After a few Jaegers and some Dos Equis, you guys can. I'll fucking start singing a choir right now. You know
I think
what
he's
mean?
gonna
But-
need a straw too for that.
Yeah, I'm gonna need a straw for this one.
That's what do you got to say.
You know what? Let me tell you one thing, man. I mean, I've kind of been. I'm retired from the club. I don't really have much say into what all goes on anymore or whatever they do and stuff like that.
You probably got more than you know.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
But
Honestly,
let me
he
tell you
really
one
does.
thing. One thing I can say for Clay, since Clay's been in the club, his connection and his getting together with people has really brought this club up another notch.
Catapulted.
I give Clay a whole lot of credit for the few being involved with the Phoenix Suns, Chicanos por la Causa, the American Legion, all these groups that we're kind of like affiliated with now.
Yeah.
I give a lot of that to Clay.
Let's talk
Well,
about
yeah,
that.
talk about that.
So
Because-
again,
Yeah.
if you guys don't know,
Clay, let's talk about that.
I'll
about that, Clay.
let him explain.
Yeah,
If you guys
please
don't
do.
know some of the
Please do,
connections
because
that we
Clay-
have, yes,
Clay deserves
a lot of
a lot
credit.
of acknowledgement here.
Thank you,
deserves some
Big T.
respect.
Okay,
Yes.
real quick on that. So about 8, 9, 6, 5 months ago, Carlos calls me up and says, "Hey man, they're doing a photo shoot, Phoenix Suns. Bring your truck, come down, and that's all." So I said, "Yeah, I'll go." And next thing you know, they're doing a photo shoot with the Phoenix Suns with the El Valle theme that's going on, and I'm like, wow, how long has this been going on? And this guy says, man, it's been around for a whole year. We just couldn't say nothing. And I'm like, you?
Tap in before you go.
Is that you? Is that you?
So
So
before,
let us know how that all.
so before
came to
we
fruition.
even get into that subject, so like how we said, we get involved with the foster house,
The Roman house.
That's
the
awesome.
Roman house,
And that's actually
it's-
through my vice president Rick.
So
He was a Marine. His Marine buddy is one of the main.
yeah.
People
So
that
we were
started that.
having what we do every year is we host a big old barbecue and a Christmas event
At the park, right?
Yes, for all the foster children that are in those homes. And so Clay comes about, is like, hey man, he goes, there's a possibility that maybe Devin Booker could stop by. And at first we think like, okay. Time goes on. He's like, he'll be here at 3:00.
This-
Well, 5:00 comes around and we're like, this motherfucker
Fucking
coming.
Clay.
Like, yeah, like what the fuck? Like, yeah. And sure enough, bro, a little bit after that, Devin Booker pulls up and he hangs out with us. He comes and talks to us. He comes and signs autographs, donate clothes and everything to all the foster children in the home. Comes
Did he
and
come in
takes
his ride?
picture.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he comes and hangs out with us.
That's why he was late.
And he comes and he just hangs out like a normal person. Like he doesn't want to be the Devin Booker. Like I'm a superstar. He wants to be, hey, I'm Devin Booker.
He wants
the
to chill
person.
out.
I know
wanna
how
come.
that is.
was
I
the
know how
year-
that is.
That was
I
the
want
year
to
he
come.
was injured.
I want to come and hang out,
Baseball.
just chill, relax. And so he comes, bro, and like he's the most humbled, coolest person you could ever meet. Like he comes, shakes everybody's hand, graces everybody, signs everybody's autograph, takes pictures with everybody, and hangs out. And we were like, bro, for him coming out, we got to do something back. We made him an honorary member. We gave him a plaque. He wanted a shirt. Like, hey, what's up? What do I have to do to get a Sophisticated Few shirt? We gave him a
come
shirt.
to the meetings.
Yeah, and so he
Come to the garage.
He wanted to come and hang out. But honestly, that would have not have
You're on the
happened.
second floor.
That would have
You're
not
on the
have
second
happened.
floor.
That would have not have happened if Clay didn't make that connect.
Yeah.
And
Clay, how'd you do
and
that?
honestly, I'm not gonna lie. We doubted it at first. We're like, he ain't coming. And next thing you know, he pulls up in his ride, and he
they were
hangs out
having
with us.
issues with the car starting, the battery.
What ride did he roll up in?
He brought the Pretty Penny.
All right. That's a badass.
You just
ride.
DM'd him.
So now from there, I didn't mean to interrupt,
So-
but I'll let Clay
So
take
we
over
were
from
at a
there.
show on Grand Ave. I can't remember. It was like a Day of the Dead thing. And so this guy was walking around taking pictures with vintage film cameras and a 8mm video camera.
Yeah.
And this guy was like, "Hey man, we were friends. We're friends with somebody from the Cardinals. And they might want to pull up." And then he says, "Yeah, and I'm friends with Booker too. And you mind if he pulls up?" And I was like, "Sure. Like I don't care." But at that point, you're like,
Yeah, right.
right, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, I can call Booker right now, and he'll
And I'm
show
your
up.
Irish uncle.
Yeah. So
Yeah, there you
so
go.
he doesn't pull up, but I get the guy's number, and one thing leads to another. I communicate with him a little bit. Turns out he does know Booker very well, and a bunch of other people like Mr. Cartoon and all these other things that he does. So we get this idea that let's see if we can get Booker show up at our Christmas event. So I reach out to this guy's name is Ben. I reach out to Ben and I says, "Hey, any chance he can show up to our Christmas event we do for the Roman house?" And he says, "Yeah, let me ask him." So he asks him, he calls me back. He says, "Yeah," he says, "he'll pull up, no problem." So like Carlitos was saying, it took a while for him to get there. So, I get a little stressed out. I'm like, "Oh shit, I told everybody he was coming. He's not here.
He's on Chicano time.
Yeah, we told him 1, and now it's 4, and I was like, God, man, is he Mexican or black? But turns out he's both. So he was really fucking
Double curse.
So he pulls up, and like
He was
Carlitos
2 hours
said-
late, not 1 hour.
Right. So that made the connection there with Booker and with Ben more solidified. Turns out then Ben told me, "Hey, we're doing a basketball court donation to Chicanos por la Casa, and we want you guys to pull up." He goes, "But I want you guys to pull up strong." So I got with Carlos, and we had 30 cars, 25, 30 cars.
Yeah, because we even had the guys from Casa Grande come down.
Yeah.
We had the chapter from Casa Grande come down.
We
had
had
all the
just we
members.
told everybody, let's pull up.
Yeah.
Mr.
Rolled in
Cartoon
deep.
was there.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you guys seen the
We did.
court.
I did. Yeah.
So they were presenting it that day. So Ben was like, "Just roll up, man. We need you guys here." So we came through, And then so fast forward to El Valle, I get a phone call one evening. It's Ben, and he says, "Hey, it's not solid yet, but we want to build the Suns want to build a car." And he goes, "Who would you recommend? That person to do that?" And I had talked to Carlos a little bit, and he had thrown a name at me, but I've known Bugs for a long time, and I know that he's done some pretty nice cars,
Right.
So I gave him his information, and that's how Bugs came into the picture. The Suns later said that they had been sponsoring the Arizona Super Show for a couple of years, and so they kind of were doing their research, but they didn't really have anybody in mind yet. So when they called and they said, "Hey," when Ben said, "Hey, who do you recommend?" I said, I would go with Bugs, So they did. They called. I called him, and I said, "Hey, man, the Suns are reaching out. They want to build a car," and I gave him your information. Is that cool if I give you Ben's number? And he's like, "Yeah." At first he was like, "Yeah, these big places, they always say they want to do this, and they always, whatever they
Never follow
want to
through.
do." Yeah.
But I got a quick question. Who's Bugs?
Efren Gonzalez.
Check this out.
Tim's
So-
not hip to the community.
He was born on the farm and shit.
He's not hip to a lot.
That's what I'm asking.
So
Bugs,
it's honest
Bugs
question.
he was in the club at one point, about
Okay,
30
okay,
some
okay,
years
okay.
ago. But
Is he with Lifestyle now?
He was with
Or he
Lifestyle.
was with Lifestyle.
he was. So
with-
he's been around
Yeah, yeah,
the
yeah.
lowrider community in Arizona for a long time. So I
Okay.
thought it was only fitting. Had I known the other names, I probably, who knows what would have happened. But
And time out. You know what? And that's cool, man, because you could have easily been like like, oh no, let's keep it right here,
Yes.
you know, in our club or whatever. But you know what? You gave an honest answer or whatever,
Right.
and not to
Somebody bring me.
not to knock, you know,
Right.
sophisticated few or anything, but you gave your honest answer, and that's cool, man. That
Yeah, yeah.
and that sophisticated few accepted, you know, your recommendation.
So another thing on that is like, we're not the only ones involved in this lifestyle.
Right.
There's plenty of other people. who have
Absolutely, dude.
contributed. Like I said, Spirit
And that shows-
Intruders,
Majestics.
Majestic,
And that shows
Society,
a lot that you guys are
There's a-
willing to share the wealth,
Yeah.
share the
because
shine.
it's not only about us. We're not the only ones that make up the lowrider community. There's so many. I mean, we can literally, if we sit here, we can name names for hours of all the other different clubs that have contributed
Right.
and made lowrider what it is today. So why are we gonna be the only ones that take the credit for all that?
Yeah.
Because we're not the only ones
You
that
guys
do
weren't
this.
trying to hog it.
Exactly, we're
That's-
not,
and that's
because it's not
badass.
only,
I
it's
love
not
that
only
shit.
about us. It's more than just us. It's more about the culture, what we do for our community,
It's spreading
what
the
we do
message.
for our people. Yeah,
Spread the message.
I mean, there's truth to that, but there's also truth to we did kind of want to keep it to ourselves because
And I
once
get
you open
that.
the door to just letting people come in and do whatever they want in this event, you know, because we had people asking us, hey, how can I get in touch with that person? Hey, who did you contact to get this, you know, done?
yeah, no, I wouldn't share that kind of
You
information.
don't want to say,
no,
oh,
no,
yeah,
no,
here's
no.
his number, you know?
Don't worry about it.
Yeah, you know, just be happy you're here and enjoying this and being a part of this because Carlos brought together shit. There
Okay,
was
excuse me, but what you're trying to say is, in a way, what you want to do is say, you know what? Our club, we worked hard.
yeah.
We made the connections. We did what we did. They're reaching out to us for a reason.
Right.
Absolutely.
Why should we give all you other guys the glory of representing the Sons, Chicanos por la Causa, all the other major businesses and companies that we're representing?
Right.
You know, we worked hard for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
You guys didn't work hard for it, you know.
Yeah. Why should they
We're
be
gonna
able
throw
to
you a
work
bone
to the
here.
next
yeah,
level?
you can invite them into the fold, but you don't.
If you-
drop.
That's exactly
yeah.
right.
Yeah, invite them to the
mean,
invite them
think
to the
about it.
tent, invite them to the garage, but don't give
You know
them
what I
the
mean?
names.
We did, if you think about it,
Exactly.
50 years. He put in 30, 40 years, put in 20, 30 years, put in 10 years. We've all sacrificed a lot of time to make it to what it is today.
And you guys,
We
and
each
you guys,
had our own part. in
and
it.
you guys have done a fantastic
Tell you what,
job.
let me tell you one thing. A lot of phrase that a lot of people overuse, which I can honestly say we have done it. Us older guys in this club, we have poured out, we have done blood, sweat, and tears.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
You know, we have paid our dues in more ways than one. Whether it be whatever, but now these guys today, it's a whole different game. These guys are coming out strong. They're using their connections. They're doing things we never even would have thought about.
Yeah.
Sure.
So I was gonna ask, how does that make so like being like a native Phoenician, you know, Suns fan, Cardinals fan, and then you see your car club?
Fucking, I love it, man.
Yeah. Yeah. You
What
have
can you
to.
say?
Yeah.
The fact that my family, my club, is doing all this for the community, for
Yeah.
Phoenix,
Keyword.
the Suns,
Community.
Cardinals, the Chicanos por la Causa, the
Which is right down the street.
Legions,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
that is something I can't explain how proud it makes a man feel.
Well, that's where it comes back full circle because my idea was car clubs were for kickbacks, cruising central, and then it turned into community stuff. So why not keep it there? Why not keep it there? And then also, you heard the story about the family involvement and how they've built this legacy of car club that I believe is going to be around forever.
It's looking
Why
that
not
way.
put it back into the community? Why not put these people, this club, into the eyes of where it should be, the community?
I would agree.
You know
I would
what
agree.
mean? So Chicanos por la Causa, they've been around for a long time. They do all kinds of community stuff. So being involved in that was key. That was perfect. the whole link between Booker and Cartoon with Chicanos por la Causa, it was just falling into place. So my idea was we should be a nonprofit.
Oh,
We should do something to where not only build the club to a better place, but also put them in a position to where we can give back to the community.
Right.
So we can do this stuff without forking it out of our pockets anymore. You know what I mean? Because our Christmas event gets expensive.
Sure.
And
Yeah.
it's not even open to the public. It's a private event.
Sure.
But it still gets expensive because we all have to dig into our pockets just to
All our
make this
members.
happen.
Every member.
Every member.
Yeah.
And right now, like I said, all this, I can't take credit. He can't take credit. It's all our members and our
Exactly.
families.
Exactly.
Right now, we are having
It's a group effort.
It's a
It
group
is
effort.
big.
It is.
And we've been fortunate, and we have a very strong group. Everybody, like I said, from me all the way down to the newest guy, we all work hard and we work together, and everybody is on the same page, and everybody wants to do. We have the same goals, and like I said, it's not me that's doing all this; it's all of us.
Oh, you guys-
I'm just steering the ship, but everybody else is.
They're the one that's pushing it.
yep. You guys are definitely rocking and rolling, man. I mean, no doubt about it. I mean, you got your 9 to 5, and then this is a 9 to 5. I mean, just what I'm hearing, right?
Yeah,
That's
it
what I'm
is.
hearing. Is a 9 to 5.
I mean, today I went to work this morning, did what I had to do, my regular shift, went back home, picked up my car, came straight here. So a lot of dudes make that sacrifice. I mean,
No, it's a commitment.
My wife is at home with all the kids, taking care of all the kids, so that way I could come over here.
Did you text her and ask her what she made for dinner?
She said I better pick something up on the way home because the kitchen is closed.
You know,
But
I want to.
you know what I mean? It's not just only us; it's also our families.
Right.
You know
Right.
what I mean? I saw when I was a kid. I saw how much my mom would drive us back and forth to school or drive us to all these different events while my dad was going to all these different lowrider things or take us to go. She would go and drop me off to go meet my dad at a lowrider event, so that way I wasn't out there all day from 5 a.m. till 6 o'clock at night waiting to get into a parking lot. And my tata would take me. Hey, I'm gonna take Carlitos for the weekend, and we're gonna go do a car show, and we'll be gone
He's
all
gonna clean
weekend.
rims.
So yeah, you know what I mean.
Hey,
So
now-
it's also not just only us and the members ourselves. Our members do a lot of dedication to it, but it's also the families too that take a
Right.
lot to it. Too.
You got to give a shout out to the ladies. There ain't no
Yeah,
doubt about
yeah,
it. Ain't no
exactly.
doubt about it.
I want to say, Carlos, that I know you said you're kind of quiet, you laid back a little bit in the cut, but that's an attribute of a great leader, man. Is sometimes is recognizing that you're like that, and then surrounding yourself with the appropriate people and allowing Clay to go out and network, do his thing because you put that trust in him, and I'm sure he has that level of confidence knowing that, hey man, my guy's gonna back me up. I'm doing the right thing for the club, and we're all moving the ship forward. And that I think that's dope that you recognize that, and you just like, hey man, you know, I'm here to help steer the ship, but you know, you guys come to me with these ideas or connections.
Yeah.
Let's move it forward.
Yeah.
So I just
I
want
would
to give
agree.
you props for that.
I would agree.
Yeah, I mean, we've done some really cool things.
Yeah.
Since I've been in the club, I mean, we've done launch parties. We've done wine. I think Mexico came out with their first canned wine, Rosadita.
Yeah.
And we put a car there because they asked for a lowrider. I can't even tell you
The PIR thing you guys just did.
PIR. Like, who does lowriders in NASCAR?
Yeah.
I never thought. I mean, I was.
And you guys were at the ground level.
I
saw, right?
I got to drive on the track. Never,
His car.
never,
the president
never,
of the
and that's
track
a big thing.
in
Like I
30
said,
miles an hour.
because of Clay and because of Clay, I never would have ever thought that
Clay-
I would be able to drive on PIR on the actual track. And I got to drive on the track. Like, who would have ever thought that? Like, my car was gonna make it on PIR. and
Ricky
drive on the
Bobby.
track.
I was
And I got to do that.
took
Like, that
your
was
ride on the-
experience.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that was
She-
experience that I got to, like, I cherish. Like, I was when they told me, like, hey, you're gonna drive on the track. Like, I literally froze. What? No, not me, no.
Fuck, I'd have been like, fuck yeah, hotter than
Oh,
jalapeno
bro,
heat
I
wave,
was
man.
nervous as shit. Like, I was nervous as shit.
Hotter
Like,
than
bro,
a
I was
bottle
like,
of wine.
nah, like, not me. Like,
You
let
ain't- if
pick
you ain't
someone.
first, you're last.
No, and then like the president of PIR came and was like, yeah, we want to cruise this car, and they picked my car, and I'm like, oh shit, I'm gonna have to drive the president of PIR down the track. Like, what?
Fucking let's go.
Like, what do you know what I mean? No, fuck no, I was shitting bricks. Like,
Did you hit a
hell,
switch?
I told her, I was like, I'm willing to quit my job and I'll be your regular chauffeur
Hey,
every day.
you should have went in for a pit stop and shit.
You know what I mean? But who would have ever thought that? But who would have ever thought that we were gonna be able to be
total
part
experience.
of that? You know
Right
what I'm
on,
saying?
man.
Like,
That's
we
cool.
never
That's
thought
cool
that.
shit, man.
Well, first of all, whoever would have connected lowriders.
What PR?
No
Yeah,
shit.
but
See,
that's
see what you did?
Yeah.
What you got to say about that?
Yeah, what you got to say about that?
Go ahead, Clay.
But you
That's
got-
all you.
That's where I put my nose. You know, I think of something and ask my wife. I get a hair up my ass and I got to do it. And this was going back to your comment. I just sent her a DM.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
did. There was no reason, no rhyme. I just thought.
Just got to ask.
I just
No,
thought, what
literally
can we
was.
do? What can we do? Because the Suns thing got a little out of hand, you know, and it is what it is. But I thought, what can I do that will not top
Separate
it, but
us.
separate it, and then not only that, but put us in a different light. You know,
Yeah.
connecting to the Suns is cool, but what else can we do? And so I saw a video or something, and I said, NASCAR and lowriders. So I sent this lady a DM, and just so happened she was already thinking,
Same thing.
I want to do something with the lowriders, because you know the Suns thing set that off.
Yeah.
So she was like, I want to do. She
You,
even said,
you
we
asked the
might-
right question. What else can we
It's
do?
great.
She said we might even want to build a lowrider.
It's great
for the,
publicity for both parties.
Because it never
It is.
hurts. You
Exactly.
get so much network. Like I said, this world is so small.
What
You
can they say? No?
What's the worst that they're gonna say? No.
Right. Let me ask you.
That's it.
Because I think, you know, we've been around
The
cars for
worst
a
they
while.
can say is, "I'm calling the cops."
Yeah, yeah.
Hey, we've heard that before.
And
We've heard
shout
that
out,
before.
shout out to Latasha because she took us in like family.
Yeah.
She brought us in. We
Yeah.
had a meeting with her. She's super cool.
Yeah.
And it made it easy.
She the marketing director.
What do you guys
She's
think?
the president of
She's a
of the
president.
race.
Yeah, she's a president. She's
Wow.
she's
from South
yeah, she's hip. Yeah.
Excuse me,
I think
Latasha.
Glendale, but the west side, but
But she
been
said,
in the Phoenix
yeah,
area.
she knew all different parts of Phoenix. She said she's been to South Phoenix, West Phoenix. She went to school, North, all that. So
'Cause-
when we met her, you would have never ever thought that she ran or she was the president of PR. She was humble. She treated us like we knew her for years.
Yeah.
She had open doors. Anything we asked for, she was, hey, you make sure that this happened.
That's
And
cool.
she made that experience way more than I anticipated.
Because I think right now the culture's on a high, on a wave. Because I think we've seen throughout the years. I think in the 2000s, it kind of took a
drop-
little
Ups
dip,
and
yeah,
downs.
right? It
It did
was,
take a dip.
if you saw a lowrider driving down the street, you were like, damn, it's like a dinosaur. It's like
yeah,
seeing a dinosaur.
we were part of that. Like in the 90s, it was hot.
Yeah.
Right there for a while, it was hot, and then it took a dip, and nobody was cruising a lowrider. Nobody had nobody.
Everybody
was,
wanted the Benz and the Bentley.
No.
There you go.
Everybody
Yeah,
went.
everybody
Everybody
was all-
went to
They
the.
wanted those fast
Mini
race
fast.
cars.
Yeah, right.
and
They were in the-
They wanted those fast race cars. So
Yeah,
kinda
put on
did.
spin cycle.
Yeah. Yeah. There you
Right,
go.
right burner.
and then now it's back to where it's on a high.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think that's dope that you guys actually capitalized on it, on that high.
Well, that's
as
what I
we're
was
going.
seeing. I saw a commercial for one of the casinos here local, and the
Yes.
any other car show, the Cadillac,
Yeah.
red Cadillac pulls
Yep.
up with Dayton's on it, and these people jump out and they go into the casino. I was like, what?
Yeah.
Why can't we do that?
We do that every week.
And that's the thing is,
Yeah.
the group that I have, like I said, we're around all our members. These guys are constantly like, "Hey, what about this? Have you thought about this?" None of this I can't take the credit for, because these guys are like him, Rick, other members like,
They're-
"Hey, what about this?" You know, and it all
Spitting
started.
ideas.
With,
They're
you know,
pushing the envelope.
with that Roman house. You know what I mean? One year where it's like, hey, I got a buddy, an ex-Marine buddy. He runs a foster home. Do you know these kids don't sometimes get out for the holidays? They don't get presents.
Yeah.
Cool. It was 8 members, and we had 24 kids. We made it happen.
Hell yeah.
Timmy,
And then from
pay
there on,
attention.
it's grown. I think this year was 49,
49
members.
kids, yeah.
I mean, 49 kids. And, man, we had the Sons, Chicanos por la Casa, helped us out, Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A donated over 200 meals.
Wow.
I need some chicken
Oh,
wings.
the barber. We had a barber shop
Yes.
who donated their
Yes.
time.
Came
they
out.
didn't. They came.
They
and
brought
were
their
like,
chairs.
They brought their own chairs, their own clippers. They brought everything. It was like, hey, we'll give every kid a haircut, no charge or cost. They just wanted to do it just to be part of it because
Sure.
they knew what good-hearted what it was gonna be towards.
And the thing we do is it's a private event. We do, and anybody that helps us, we tell them right up front that we're not doing it for the publicity. We're not asking you guys, if you're
From
gonna
the
go,
heart.
It's just from us. We don't. Once it's done, then we put it out there. We did this, we did that. But we're not doing it to advertise. Look what we're doing. It's just a private event because respectfully for the kids. You know what I mean? It's Some of these kids are from. I think we had a kid that was there maybe 4 years old, was the youngest, up to an 18-year-old.
Wow.
And every one of them, over the last 6 years, man, these kids, they greatly appreciate it, and it's
So-
see what these kids, their struggle and how they still have a positive outlook.
Yeah.
It's
right.
beautiful.
It's bigger.
You should see,
It's bigger.
but you should see what the impact has on these kids. When we did this, these kids came up to us. Like, I remember, for example, a kid came up to me and was like, "Hey, man, I wear a size 6.5, and I only have the shoes that I have on. That's all I have. If there's any extra pairs, can I have them?" I'm like, "Yeah, man, let me see, whatever." Sure enough, the day came, towards the end of the day, we had like 3 more extra pairs in his size. I gave them to him. That kid came up to me more than 8 times and thanked me. He's like,
it makes you feel how blessed you are, man.
I'm not bragging on it to try to make it seem like I'm doing something.
Right.
But I'm showing how much an impact Lowrider has because we wouldn't have did it if it wasn't for what we were able to do today.
Well,
you know what I'm saying? If we didn't sacrifice the stuff, like I work a regular job, I sacrifice. I took some like, hey, you know what? I got to put some of this money to the side so I can buy something for this kid. So that way he has a decent Christmas.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So I cut back on some of the stuff that I had to take care of on my own, just so that way. But that impact goes a long way because that just to see that smile on that kid and how much I made a difference in his life made it worth the while.
Sometimes we fail to realize how blessed we truly are, right?
Yeah.
And then to a certain degree, sometimes we become selfish, right? Yeah. And that was big of you to give up a little bit of you, right?
It's not only me; it's all every member.
Everybody.
We tell every member's like, hey, you know what? I'm gonna do this, or hey, I'm gonna pitch in for this. Every member, that's what the cool story is. That's why I say when a prospect comes in, we have to see if this is something that you're really willing to contribute to and be part of because it takes a lot. You know what I mean? It's not only just, hey, we're gonna pull up in a lowrider and that's it. No, you gotta contribute a lot more. So
you gotta be willing to sacrifice.
So that's why when we say like, hey, if a new member's gonna come in, come hang out with us. Come see how we roll. Come see if this is something that you're really could contribute to. So every member that we have now have the same heart and have the same mindset that like, hey, we want to make this go further than what it is today. And that's where we're at.
You're recognizing the big picture.
Exactly.
It's the big picture.
So that's why I'm saying, like, when we did all the sacrifices that we did to make sure that it was only 8 members for 30-something kids that first time that we did it. Yeah. And we made it happen. And now we got 30-something members to 40-something kids, and we have outside partners that are willing to contribute. Chick-fil-A, Chicanos por la Casa, the Phoenix Suns, Phoenix Mercury. Now we have PIR, the Diamondbacks. They're all willing to contribute because it's not only about us.
It even goes farther than that, too.
It's like Jeff says. What?
I mean, look at you guys today. You guys are willing to take the time today to sacrifice your guys' Friday to come and talk to us about history that we've had for 50 years. You guys didn't really have to, but you guys...
No, we wanted to, man.
You guys,
We knew it.
So even little things like that go a long way. So that's why I said...
When we started this, we said...
You're the guy.
We gotta promote the positive message, right?
Actually, when we started this, you guys were like one of the first ones we talked about bringing on here.
Yes.
We really, Michael and I, Vince and I, we really thought about this and go, you know what? Carlos is a partner of ours. He's a neighborhood legend to us.
Yeah.
Sophisticated Few, we've known them since we're little kids. And we've seen the rides, we've seen everything. Our dads hung out with you guys, hung out with the older dudes. So when we thought about this, we were like, well, let's get Carlos on. And then he's like, well, let's get Carlitos on because then it'll be... And then we're like, well, why don't we get T on too? Because we want his perspective. Because I think it's important to let everybody know how it started where it started and how's it going in the future. And with that
That's
being
a good
said,
point. That's a good
with that
point.
being said, is there anything you could tell us
Well,
what's going on in the future?
I want to add one thing. We actually haven't had any other car club
Right, you are
because
first one.
we're not having anybody else from a car club or affiliated with cars until we have Sophisticated Few on first, and then after that, then we'll have. Then we're going to
Thank
start
you
talking.
for that.
But see,
Thank you guys.
that's
one
good.
thing-
That's a good point.
The one
though.
thing I can tell you about this whole thing is that yes, we're gonna celebrate our 50th year anniversary, but you go from 50 years back to 30 years back to 10 years back. This whole thing has revolved in such a different way. You couldn't even imagine
Yeah.
what it is today, what it was back in the day.
Well, that's my point. Is
You know, the
this
whole-
is important not only just to put our history out there, but also to let people know our history and what it's done in the culture. You know what I mean?
What's
So,
done in the community?
What it's done for the community of low
You know,
riding of,
you go
of
back. You go back to the date, and I tell you one thing. The one thing that this new lowrider community will never be able to enjoy is cruising down Central on a Friday, Saturday, Sunday night, stopping at O'Keefe's. Was the most famous little hamburger stand
I'm
on the
hungry.
south side. I don't even know if you guys are old enough,
Nah, I don't know. where it's at.
I'm a little pup.
but to cruise Central, every car club had a little spot on Central where your club would get together, we shoot a cruise, come back. But at the end of the night, O'Keefe's hamburgers, man, if you didn't, you're not gonna ever live that shit.
Right.
See, and that's
You
another.
guys are gonna miss out on so many really, really.
I see
good
that.
memories.
And
so
to tell you the
speaking-
truth, that's why we brought you on
Go-
to explain that. To
I see
explain
that.
that.
And then-
You guys probably never even went to Riverside,
Nope. The ballroom.
the barroom.
I've always heard of it. I
Heard
know
of
a
it.
lot of
Yeah.
stories
You
about it.
cruise, you go to the barroom, you throw a baile, you hear Ray Camacho and them guys, and you get back in your car, you throw a cruise. The bridge in.
I see. Oh, go ahead.
Don't make me hit you.
Go ahead. I'll wait.
Don't get ran over.
Go clean the tire rims.
It's just I gotta.
Go clean the rims.
Go ahead.
Armor all the right time.
All right. I'm on it.
But you know what I'm saying? I says, the way when we grew up, low riding and cruising Central, and not all the beef with the chota and all that other shit. You know, we used to cruise heavy, and then O'Keefe's was like the spot to go on a Friday, Saturday night.
Hell yeah.
The
Yum.
kids nowadays will never be able to experience nothing like that over the way what things have happened.
Of course, especially with the light rail going in, there's no more central.
Yeah, it's gone.
That rail wasn't even in the picture back then.
Yeah.
wasn't
Right.
in the picture.
Yeah.
It's just because you always had your group of knuckleheads that ruined it for everybody else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Go ahead.
Wait a minute.
So speaking of that, like I said, I've had a lot of memories of kicking it in the garage and hearing all these stories. I never got to experience that, but I get to continue on because a lot of people now
you get
might
to make new memories.
because now people my age, some people do like low riding, some people don't like low riding, and sometimes who knows, things die, like things get, you know what I mean, things don't exist no more like they were back in the day. But see, I get to continue on what my tata was telling me stories. Hey, we get to cruise in this and that. Yeah, I don't get to cruise down Central, but hey,
Or
I
have an
still
O'Keefe's.
get to or a
You get to cruise
or
it-
anything.
your car
but
on the
I
track.
still get to cruise my car, and now that's something that I get to pass on to my sons.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So technically, I don't get to cruise Central. I'll
No,
never
totally,
know. I'll never know what it was to
It's a
cruise
totally
back to
different
Central.
game.
Yeah,
It's a
I
totally
get
different
it.
game
It's a
now.
totally different game.
It's like-
but it's still something that I can still
no.
pass on. Hey, my tata got to cruise Central. I didn't, but I get to cruise Glendale. I get to cruise Jackson Street.
what's
I get to
cool?
cruise this
knows
and all
what I
this and that.
mean.
You know what I
Because his
mean?
dad
Carlitos,
cruised
let me
with-
tell you something, bro.
Vince,
You know what you
Dad
get to
knows
do?
what I'm
You get to
talking
tell your son that I cruised my car. You're the
It'll
only
never be
person
that way again.
to do that on PIR.
You know?
Yeah.
Sorry to
On
say
a
it,
racetrack.
never.
He's the only person
Yeah.
right now to have his lowrider on a racetrack.
So that's what I get to pass
has
on to
to
my
tell
kids.
that to his
I get to
kid.
pass on my kids that, like, hey, I got to cruise PIR. I got my car
And
on the racetrack.
That's the thing. That's what I think. That's what he's saying. From
So, yeah.
from Central to PIR,
Yeah, the few.
and the few has done that.
You know what? Back in the days, we weren't even allowed to go to PIR.
See?
You're right.
And look,
weren't.
I got to be on the racetrack. I got
New
to
member.
do
Yeah,
that.
I wish I did
We're
that.
going in a
All
different
right.
direction.
This is a
You know,
whole
this
nother
is-
generation. This is 3 generations already. This is 3 generations that we got. Sophisticated few went from cruising Central, going back and forth, kicking it at O'Keefe's, to now sophisticated few cruising down PIR racetrack.
Yeah,
But-
but even back then, when you would cruise Central, you could only cruise to a certain point.
Turn around.
Because if you went past a certain point, then you got into the hot rodders,
Yep.
the gringos, and you weren't allowed up there.
Yeah. You know,
If you went past a certain point, you knew you were going to get into a fight.
Yeah.
you know what? I'll just share something. It's been my absolute pleasure having a beer in the garage. I mean, this has been fucking fantastic. I ain't gonna lie.
Thank you.
Big T, I've enjoyed your stories. Carlitos, Carlos, Clay, it's been fucking awesome, man. I mean,
Thank you guys.
I can't wait to come back. I'm not a member, but fuck, next time you have a fucking carniceria, whatever, I'm down. This has been fucking fantastic. I mean, just look at the pictures, everything. Thank you.
Like,
That's it.
my honor.
Normally on Fridays, if the garage is open, we're in here drinking.
Okay,
Yeah, more
I'll
than
pass through
welcome.
the Callejon just
yeah, I'll
to
go
see
to
if
the
it's open.
garage. I'll go
Yeah,
to the
usually that's where we all park.
El por callejón y la chingada.
Hey, George.
No, Jeff's got some rap.
Oh, Jeff. Oh, yeah. I forgot. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
You know,
Relax,
I'm gonna
man.
ask a couple.
Okay, we let Clay finish up real quick. Clay.
Yeah, go for
finish
it.
up.
Where are we headed?
Finish up, Clay.
Well, we're heading in a really big direction right now. I mean, I was just gonna say, other car clubs have done things. You know, they've done good things too
Yeah.
in the community. But speaking back on the few, like we went from O'Keefe's to PIR or Phoenix Raceway. We were at a dispensary with Chong. Chong was in one of our cars.
Tommy
moving-
Chong.
I mean, who does that, right?
Chong was in here last night getting all fucked up.
Somebody's choking on
So
Chong.
there's
over
a few
here.
things coming up the road for us that are going to put us in a different light as well.
Right on.
So that's my goal. That's my intention in the club is to continue to put these things, and only and solely for the future, for his kids, for my grandkids, any other members' kids. You know what I mean? So that they have a foundation they can stand on. That the few isn't going anywhere.
Well said. Well said.
We're not doing
Yeah,
we're not there fucking around, causing problems or
Not on
getting
purpose
into-
anyways.
Getting it right. Or getting
hey,
into
shit
shit with
happens.
other clubs. We're not starting shit with other. We're trying to bring in other people and even solo riders. We're trying to involve them too because they play a big part in this.
And I think you mentioned it earlier. Somebody mentioned it earlier. The clubs nowadays, everybody gets along, and that's what's great about the lowrider community now.
Because
is
we're
that
older, we're
we get
a little
along.
wiser now.
What you got to say about that, T? I seen you shaking your hand.
I say because it didn't used to be that way.
It didn't used to be that way.
Right.
It didn't. Let's be honest here.
No, I know.
It's back in the days, that club.
Butt heads.
They all hated the few.
Yeah.
They all hated the few for whatever reason, whatever.
And they're
If we
still
were there
haters.
and they showed up, yeah, we get in a fight. You know, it's a fist fight. Just be done with it. Next week we'll drink a beer and forget about it.
Sure.
But what I guess I don't know how to phrase this exactly, but what makes me feel really good about the few nowadays is that this club has come a long, long way from what we used to be.
5 decades.
And it's going to go
Huh?
forward.
Sorry, Dick.
We were traviesos, you know, like I said, los fuck ups.
Los fuck ups.
But these guys nowadays are doing so much good.
Yeah, positive stuff.
They are doing so much positive for the city, for the community, for the lowrider movement. I'm actually genuinely proud that my son-in-law is running the club, my grandson's in the club, Clay's running the club. These guys have ideas I would have never thought of.
Sure.
Yeah.
These guys are doing an excellent job, and I'm sure they're going to bring the feud to some new heights that people won't even believe.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
It's actually very, very nice to hear all the compliments I get about the club compared to what we used to hear.
1974.
Yeah.
So like I said, once again,
In
74,
73.
so
that year wiped out.
So once again, thank you to every member that has put in their time and sacrificed everything that they need to do. Thank you for not only just the members, but thank you to the families, our wives, our uncles, our cousins, our friends, our best friends that have also made the sacrifice to support us along the way, and also other clubs for supporting us along the way, because we couldn't honestly make it to 50 years if other club members or every family, every friend, everything didn't back us up the way that they do today. So it's not only just Sophisticated Few, it's way more bigger than that. It's the whole lowrider community and everyone that believes in the same thing that we believe in. We thank all of them, because if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't be where we're at today if they didn't make the sacrifices that we made today.
Well, I believe every car club should buy me a shot and a beer.
Oh, that's guaranteed.
That's it.
But thank you to everybody that has made that sacrifice along these 50 years to make Sophisticated Few be celebrating their 50 years.
Hell yeah.
So if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't be where we're at today.
What do you guys got planned for the 50th year
We got our
anniversary?
Anniversary. It's gonna, a big thing. It's mostly gonna be just members and their families.
And that's coming up, right?
Coming up in a couple of weeks, yeah. So
Right on.
Just have a good time.
Hell
Celebrate
yeah.
our
50 years, man.
Celebrate where all our roots. You know what I mean? And all the generations in between.
Let me ask this, for our viewers, if they want to follow Sophisticated Few on social media, where can we find them at?
Sophisticated Few,
Instagram,
Instagram,
Snapchat,
yeah, it's, Sophisticated
Facebook.
Few _Car Club _Phoenix.
We'll put that up on
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So we also have that. We also have
our Facebook page.
Our Facebook page. We also have our own website, sophisticatedfew.com. You're more than welcome to go on there and follow us on there and reach out to us on there. Or,
That's awesome.
Hey, even if you see one of our members, you're more than welcome to reach out to one of our members and say, hey, how
I
can
know the
reach out?
president.
Sorry, man.
I know a
No,
founding
Like you
member.
said,
They don't have an
future things
OnlyFans.
coming up. Next week we are actually doing a interview thing. It's going to be a program airing with John Leguizamo.
Oh, nice.
I think
All
with,
right,
NBC
all right.
Studios.
Mr.
About
Oye,
the-
¿cómo va? Hell
There you
yeah.
go.
Low rider community, how
Benny
we have
Blanco for the Bronx.
has impacted.
There you go.
Yep. So, it's like I said, it's not just us; it's the whole lowrider community. When the Suns wanted cars, we reached out to everybody. There's a couple clubs. I don't know. We don't know a lot of them who running what. You know what I mean?
A lot of the newer clubs.
Clubs. But this is hopefully for everybody. And
Yeah,
this
nice.
event's the same thing. Everybody's welcome to it because we're all part of this lowrider community. It's
Right.
not just about us, me, the few, or us like that. It's all of us. And then, everybody else. You know what I mean? Look at working classes involved in this. SeunevA lifestyle. This is all a Chicano movement, it's culture. You know what I mean? We're all
Nice.
It's all
intertwining
things.
this in this culture. Because if we're not pushing this,
Who
something
is?
you might do today, a little kid might look at it and say, "I want to do what he does."
Yeah.
Nicely put. Nicely
What you
put.
said when you were younger.
Yes,
I want
saw
that.
something. I want that, and what he's doing, I want to do that.
Right.
And hopefully, what we've done will get that little itch in somebody and say, I want to do something. Sure.
I would agree.
You know,
I would
everybody,
agree.
you know what
I would
mean? But
agree.
Nice.
You guys got this podcast, you know, this lifestyle. Man, that's somebody's listening to it and is going to motivate them to take what you guys know to the next level.
We appreciate
You know, like
that.
I
We
said, you got the
appreciate that.
unpaid intern.
We appreciate that.
And see, that's what makes me happy because the fact we didn't have that mentality back then.
So at the end of the day, don't let it stop
It
you.
was in,
Yeah.
Don't let it stop
have
you.
that.
Because who would ever thought 8 friends kicking in front of a house, drinking, partying together, would have been celebrating 50 years of something that they created. So don't let anything stop you or hold you back or say that you can't do it because you honestly can.
Right.
If you really believe in it and you put your heart into it like we've done and we sacrificed, you can make it go a long way. The same way how you guys believed in that you guys can make this SeunevA podcast go a long ways. You guys are making it happen.
right.
The same way how we're making the few go for 50 years, SeunevA podcast can go the
That's
same
why we
exact
have
way.
the-
So
that's why we have the team.
all you got to do, and anybody who's willing to make that sacrifice, I mean, we're not.
We need Clay. On
You
our-
guys,
on our
you guys,
team.
no. It's not only that. No, it's not only
I know, I'm
that. If you guys,
bullshitting.
if you guys, I mean, anybody that's more than welcome who's watching this podcast or who sees this, if they want to reach out and talk to us or whatever, or need us support, hey, we want you guys to come out here and do this for us, or hey, we need this,
That's
this,
why
that.
we should.
We'll do
That's why
it.
we should have played the theme song of the club. It's been a theme song for.
What's the theme?
What's the theme
And
song?
a lot of people don't know this.
Want me to put it on? I'll put it on.
Play it on.
I'll put it on.
Well, tell us and we'll put it on.
Lower it up.
The
Lower
theme
it up.
song
It's McFadden and
has been the
Whitehead.
club.
Ain't no
McFadden
stopping
and Whitehead.
us.
74. Ain't no stopping us now.
Hell yeah.
Oh.
That's been
All
our
right.
theme song. We got banners. Every place we go or we participate in, we make sure we play that song. And if it's a baile or anywhere, everybody in the club goes out there and dances.
That's the theme
Hell yeah.
song.
Because
So
that's our theme. That's our song.
Let's play it while you get
So here we go.
get into some of your rapid fire questions.
All right. Ready?
Ready.
All right, Big T. I'm going to ask Big T, all right?
All right.
These are the questions for you.
Just answer them right off the top of the head.
All right. Tacos or burritos?
Huh?
Tacos,
Tacos or
or
burritos?
burritos?
Burrito.
Favorite cereal? What's your favorite cereal?
Honey Nut Cheerio.
When you eat chicken wings, do you want the drumsticks or do you want the flats?
I just want ranch dressing. I don't give a shit.
That's the best answer ever.
yeah.
Yes,
Right, Jesse.
that's
Don't
the
give a
best
shit.
answer ever.
All right. So, out of your whole career in lowriding, what is one of your favorite lowriders that is not from the few? It doesn't have to be. Just name one of your favorite lowriders out of your career, but that's not from the few.
I'd have to say Tower of Power.
Tower of Power. All right.
Hell yeah.
Hey, Kragers or Supremes?
Breathe, bro.
There you go. There you go.
That's all I got, man. I
Hey,
wanted to keep it short because
I got a
knew
brand
this-
new set of Supremes in the box, waiting to break out of my next ride.
Hell yeah.
There we go.
Well, once again, thank you, SeunevA
Hey.
Podcast. Thank you guys
thank
for
you
coming
guys.
out.
I got a couple of questions for you.
Ask us.
Jack in the Box or McDonald's?
Jack in the Box.
Huh?
What time is it?
2 in the morning.
There you go.
2 in the morning.
2 in the morning.
Denny's or IHOP?
Danny's.
Denny's.
Ya cagaste el palo.
Taco Bell tacos or Jack in the Box tacos?
Jack in the Box.
Depende.
Depending.
2.99 cents.
It's all the
2.99
time.
cents.
It's timing.
Yeah, it's
It's timing. It's level of buzz.
Because McDonald's has the better fish
Now-
fillet.
now-
The
now-
fish sandwich is better there.
Now, Ponchos or Commodore?
El pollo fish fillet.
Algo del comedor.
Ponchos or Commodore?
El comedor.
El Comador.
There we go.
Yeah. Hey, man, it's been a pleasure having you guys.
What?
Thank you, guys.
Wait a minute. What did he ask?
Ponchos or Commodore?
Ponchos.
I was gonna say, man.
Yeah.
Ponchos, man.
They had
Yeah,
4
Ponchos.
tacos for $1 at one point.
Tripas right here in the corner.
Or, yeah.
There you go.
Hey, the tripas.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you guys. Fun time.
Hey,
Thank
you know
you.
what? 15th and Roosevelt? That's the motherfucking shit right there.
Hey, you know what? T, thank you very much. Carlitos, thank you very much. Carlos, thank you.
No, thank you guys for
Clay.
everything. Appreciate it.
Thank you
now,
very much, Clay.
turn everything
Come on,
off and
man.
let's drink a
My
beer.
pleasure.
Hey, T, any last words for us? Anything you want to say? Last words?
Take us home, Matt. Take us home.
One thing I want to say is, you know what? I'm so goddamn proud of this fucking club. There's nothing I can say more than what this club has come to from where we started and the fact that my family is so involved in it.
Hey, wait a
What can I
minute.
say?
I got one more thing before we go. T's a movie star.
What?
Timmy.
Oh yeah, did you know that? He's a movie star. Yeah. You guys all gotta sign waivers after this shit, or you guys can't release it.
Jerry Maguire.
This is why my agent was bringing papers down for you guys to sign.
Show
Before
me
you
the
release
money.
this shit.
Jerry Maguire. Jerry Maguire. If you ever watch the movie,
You know
towards
what?
the end of the game, when he plays the last game at the when they used to play at ASU,
Yeah.
he came out on Jerry Maguire.
I knew I recognized you.
Hey, right now I'm in contract negotiations
Yeah.
for Jerry Maguire.
I thought I
too.
saw you at the Oscars. I thought I saw you at the Oscars.
Other than that, hey, Timmy, thank you.
Hey, he's the one that told Will Smith to slap Chris Rock.
I didn't mention that. But Big T for the patience because we used to hang out across the street from his house.
That's what I told him
all
earlier.
the time.
The original
And we were-
fuck-ups.
And we were into
Yeah.
some.
Hey, you guys should do a podcast at the anniversary.
Yeah.
Let's get back here.
You can interview some of the older members too.
Let me tell you one thing.
There's an idea.
We got a stage in the building. You can put you up on the stage.
Yeah, do it.
Vince
That'd be dope. Yeah.
and George
Chris.
from the hood, right here. George, his father, who's passed on, but
Good man.
we were very, very good friends.
Yeah.
We used to hang out. Your
That's
dad,
awesome.
I still talk to your dad all the time.
Yeah.
You know, it's
The car's not for sale.
because we're. He told me that plenty of times.
We
Still not
tried.
for
We
sale.
tried.
Other than
But you know what, though? It's good to see these guys coming back to do this. You know, just, I don't know. I just never expected something like this. And
Yeah.
it makes me feel good, makes me feel proud. Guys back in the hood, right around the corner, are doing something like this.
Gracias, man.
Very, very,
Thank you.
I'd say, very
Positive and movement.
positive.
Muy excited.
Positive and movement.
We're excited.
Muy excited.
You're flabbergasted.
No, I'm not that. I'm trying,
That happens
lose
every
a little
once
bit
in a
of
while.
flab. and shit.
Give us some more oxygen. More oxygen.
It only happens when I'm nervous.
But no, proud of these guys right here, man.
Gracias,
Yeah,
man.
thank you
Matt.
guys.
Thank you,
Thank
Matt.
you.
Thank you,
Hey,
Salud.
Take us out.
Thank you.
Salud.
Let me take you out. Timmy, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Michael, thank
you.
you. Jeffrey,
Yo,
thank you.
Timmy.
let's do it.
Engineer, thank you. Guys, thank you. Lil Chris, thank you. You're over there on the side. To a studio audience, thank
So,
you. The ladies.
all the familia,
right
thank
there,
you.
Thank you very much.
All the
A few, baby.
Let me tell you, this is
hang on real quick.
Whoa.
And be a gentleman tomorrow.
This is SeunevA Lifestyles presents What's Happening. Let's go.
Please don't be while the crown of a Kuma. Shout out.
This is how we do it on the avenue.